We're knights around the table, not round the square or triangle. We come to hang and play a game on Fridays as we're able. We play well here in Camelot, we are chums and fun, but Camelot. We're knights around the table, our host is formidable. He runs his train, lots insane, but sure he's quite unstable. He's army mad in Camelot, but seems never to have done a lot. Able, quite incomprehensible. Too wretched, and we have no plan but to sit and hear Dutch babble. It's a lazy time in Camelot.
I have to shake my bum a lot.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
See it, you'll love it, and it falls on in the best possible way.
Hey everybody! Happy Friday! Welcome to the Grand Meeting Hall for all the Knights of the Rhomboid Table, also known as my basement. I hope you're all well. I seem to be saying this more often than not. It has been an insane week. Anybody who follows us on Facebook might have an inkling of what's going on. But before we get into that, let me greet everybody that's on my list, and then I'll give you the various other things that are happening. So we've got the CEO of the Knights of the Rhomboid Table, Sir Tim of Dowd. We've got Sir Andre Eckert. We've got Sir Andy 81. We've got Sir Lee from Anfield Road. And I don't know your first name. I apologize. From Balcurvey Junction. Welcome in. Bohemian. Sir Bohemian is here. Sir Digger of Evans. Sir James from Dundas Junction. Sir Hot Dog Pilot Andy is here. Sir Jean Ricard is here. Sir Jeff is in Hawaii, but here. Sir John Benicki. And Sir Kalmar, I don't know your first name. I'll have to get it told to me a few times before it registers. Sir Kyle of Stevens is here. Sir Andy from March West Junction. Sir Mick, the Royal Barkeep, is here. And it's great to have you here again. I just love seeing your name there. Sir Dino, the Model Railway Shed, is here. Sir Ray of Bobel, the Sidetrack Sunday man, is here. We have Sir Rayron is here. We've got Sir KJ is here. We've got Bonsoir, CLTTRE is here. Sir Tom of Couples is here. I saw Sir Tom of Houston earlier, and he's still on my list. So there it is. Sir Chris of the Valleys is here. Now, who else is popping on? Sir Eric from Bondan Eisenbahn is here. And there's some other name I think I missed. Listening in, back to work. Sir Josh of Cannon is here. Great to have you here. Sir Aaron of Aaronville is here. Wow, we got a lot of people already at the start. So I hope, I really don't like missing everybody. I'm so egalitarian. I feel very guilty if I left somebody off the list, because I would feel that way. If somebody read 30 names and I was on it and they missed mine, I'd be like, what about me? But that's how I am. That's just how I am. What can I say? All right, so let's get, I guess, the negative 800-pound gorilla out of the room. Sorry, shirt problems. Last Sunday, we had to run my daughter that lives with us. We had to run her to the hospital. And we were there for several hours. They were going to admit her, but then some things subsided. And they sent her home under the condition that she contact this surgeon first thing Monday morning. She had a meeting with the surgeon on Wednesday. That's how fast they're moving here. And she goes in for surgery on Monday. It is a serious situation, but not life-threatening. And we're all a little bit nervous, but it is answering a couple of health questions we've had concerning our daughter, but it's her private life. We don't want to give it out. Hey, Sir Truck Schreiber, how are you? Welcome in. But my daughter's having some pretty serious surgery on Monday, so we're a little distracted with that. Joyce has had another crazy week. She is taking Monday off so that we can be at the hospital with our daughter, which means she'll probably be very late coming in because she's going to stay up. She's always late at work, but she's now also going to be setting up work for Monday. So that's sort of the big news. And I know a lot of people on the other side of the camera, you are going through your stuff, so we send our thoughts out to you as well. Okay, so that's the negative. Positives. I have not worked on the Fowler car in a while. No, I've not given up. It works. The Fowler car system works. I am just trying to iron out bumps in the road. Literally. The bus makes a circuit, but every now and then, not consistently, it finds little areas where the little magnet ski snags because I put road tape down, and where there are seams, this stuff is heavy duty, but it does have some areas where it's not smooth, and I'm going through with a razor blade when I have time, and I haven't had time this week, where I'm just kind of razoring it down and trying to get rid of any little snagging points. So eventually we'll get it up and running. But it's, so the big hole in Delmenhorst is still there because I'm not done working in that area. I just have not gotten into there this week because I got on a side project. Do I have the box? No, the box is over there. I am building a kit. I'll be right back. Wherever did I put it? Here it is. Okay. Here it is. A lot of things to show you before I get running trains. But I bought this model kit because I am trying to build the church, the actual church for the city of Delmenhorst, the Evangelische Stadtkirche. The Evangelisch is German for evangelical, but it means Protestant. The Protestant or Lutheran city church, Evangelische Stadtkirche. It's been there for 700 years. although it's been rebuilt a couple of times. It's had fires and everything over the 7 centuries. But this is the closest model I could find that comes close to it. The tall 4-part tower plus the top. But it doesn't look like this, especially the top. But the basic shape here is close enough. I'm going to slide in. This is a picture of it. It is not a lovely church. In fact, the main building of the church, I think, is a rebuild from the early 1900s, but the tower is still there. And even the tower, you can see that there's 2 tones of brick to it. Again, World War II, you know, stuff happens. So it's not, quote, a lovely church, but it is the church of Delmenhorst, the city I'm recreating on my thing. So I got to go from this to that. I got to go from this to that. You can go with this, or you can go with that, or that. So I got to make this disappear and turn into that. So I have been building this model, and I apologize. Anybody come in that I've missed? My apologies, my apologies. So, that's not glued on because that's not stained. Oh, let me take the lights out of it. So this is how far I am so far. Now, first problem you'll notice is the brick is the wrong color. Well, I had to go from this all white tower, which each of those little squares there, each of these little white sections were individual pieces. So what I did was I bought some photorealistic sticker brick sheets, because my first thought was to use go to the hobby store, buy some plastic sheets, you know, like Plastruck and so forth, brick sheets, and then paint them and put them in. But I just decided my hands and everything are too bad to do that. So I bought photorealistic brick. Unfortunately, they didn't have that shade of orange, although I found another place now that does. So I'm half tempted to replace it. But in the end, this doesn't have to be exactly like that church. It doesn't have to be exactly. It's just got to sell the idea. Now, I still have to paint this a dull creamish gray color. I put the first coat of gray on the front, but I've got to get the creamier gray on this now. I'm going to probably just put a couple of fake windows here to represent the 2 windows there. I've got to put a window insert here. Plus, I got to build the tower. Now, this does have a tower, which I was experimenting with doing. To make a bronze. I was just mixing colors, eyeballing it. Now, on your camera, this is much brighter than it actually is. As I'm looking at it right here on my camera, this is much brighter. It's actually very dark. So, wow, that camera is really brightening this up a lot in the light. This will not be the top. I've got to make that top, but I was trying to find a good bronze. Now, when I hold what I've got done up to the image, I actually did a pretty good job, but looking at it on camera, this looks nothing like the bronze. So I did buy some green bronze paint, and I'm going to see how that works. But I have to either 3D print, or somebody a couple of weeks ago offered to do it. I'd have to give you a picture and show you what it was and give you basic height dimensions because it's a rather tall. But otherwise, it's close. My goal is to sell the idea. There's no way I was going to get that exact church, but the nice thing is this shape, even though the windows aren't precise, it's close enough that once I put the trees around it and put it in, it's going to look like the Delmenhorst Church. Now, I've got a lot more to do on it, but yeah, I've gotten there. Hey, Sir Dwight of Curly, hello. I'm sorry, I'm missing the chat because I'm explaining everything. Yeah, rivet counters, brick counters. But if it sells the idea, it's close enough, I'm going to be very happy. And it really is. It's the first model I had seen that really was close enough that I thought I'm going to buy it. And I paid, this is normally like a $60 model. I think I paid $25 for it. So I got it for cheap. The paper sheets were $8 for 6 of them. I only needed 1. And I think it really did a nice job. I've got the bells actually are over there. Not that I need the bells, because as you can see, this has, and I've got those, the little, unfortunately, I can't really do my, I don't have anything that will show up pointer wise, but that top window where this is open, it's the right shape, but it's enclosed there. I've got window frames that I can glue on here and paint it up and do that. So overall, I'm happy. The brick is not quite the right color. If it really bothers me, I will order another sheet and do it in orange. You can't see the roof, but the roof, this had a gray roof. Again, if you look at the box, had a gray roof, but I mixed some paints to come up with the terracotta orange, because it is terracotta, but terracotta is usually a more reddish color. And of course, in Germany, it's very orange. But we got the roof on and it's ready to have lights. You can see I painted the walls so there's no light bleed inside. I just have to glue a couple of stained glass sheets of paper on. But anyhow, that's what I'm doing there. So I've actually been working on that. I have to go slow because shaky hands get shaky. I'm painting. I'm actually pleased with my painting. It's raining and you need to watch for the buzz. I'm sorry. Hey, Sir Steve of Childers and Sir Dave from Scott Rails. Hello, hello. So yeah, that's actually was a project that, even though I'm not done yet, I'm already happy. It is the first building model I built in 2 years, at least 2 years, and then to be customizing it, you know, kit bashing it a little bit, customizing it. It's been, you'd use copper and rusticate it. Well, that's great, Jeff. I don't have that skill, and I'm not going to go out and buy copper, which is relatively expensive, even cheap plastic copper, and try to rust it the hard way. I'm going to cheat. My attitude of hobby is, my trains are expensive. Everything else has to be cheap and quick, cheap and easy, like a downtown whore. But that's a different story, kids. Anyhow, the other project I'm working on, this came in last night and it's got me a bit distracted. This is the last Christmas loco. I really didn't think I would find it this fast, but it appeared out of the blue on eBay. And it was listed as does not work. Nothing works. No sound functions, no light functions, no digital, blah, blah, blah. When this came out about 10 years ago, it was about $350. I paid $90 with the hope I can fix it. And I'm about 90% there. Somebody obviously had picked this up and by the tender and loco or what have you, but it snapped the connector bar, which is a $7 piece from Märklin, a €7 piece, so about $8. So I'll have to get that. And it also had snapped a wire. All I did was solder that wire together. You can see the little yellow, whoops, no, you can't. You can see the little yellow bandage there where I resoldered that wire together, and bam, everything works except movement. All the digital functions are working. So we know the decoder's fine. So now we just got to figure out if the wheels are locked up or if the motor's bad. So I'm going to take out the motor probably tomorrow. I'm not going to work on it anymore today. I messed with it last night, checking it out, fixing it, but it's already loaded in. Everything works on it, except it does not move when you turn the power on. So it could be that there's a disconnected wire under the motor. It could be that the motor is dead, and that's a $40 replacement. Just can't get it in the United States. I might pick it up while I'm in Germany in June. But we'll see. We'll see if it's the motor that's dead or if the wheels are just seized up. But when I turned it on and turned it up to move it, I heard nothing. I'd expect to hear at least a hum out of the motor. So my instinct is the motor might be shot. But if so, it's Märklin has them in stock and they're $40. Hey, did I see Sir Simon from SJ Train World? So anyhow, that is everything I've got going on. Church, new locomotive, another new locomotive that I put up a video about last week will be running today. So let's show you who's running and get all that going now. So Hopefully I've got all the gremlins out, but we'll see. All right, so on line 1, I am running my Roco Nightjet car with a mix of Roco and Rivarossi Nightjet coaches, which was acting up in early testings, but I think I fixed it. One of the wheel axles was not quite in socket correctly. All right. In line 2, I am running the ICE4 with the Klimaschutz, the green energy sign going. So we'll put that one into motion. Hey, Sir Gene from Fresno and Sir Ifo. That is Nightjet Classic. Well, my only issue with it, Ifo, is that the cars do not match. I want them to all have that Starry Night paint scheme. And although they both do, the Roco ones have the much nicer, more brilliant white and blue, and the other one's just white dots. Not. It would look cool if they all matched one way or the other. But since the Loco has the Starry Night and the 4 Roco cars after it have the Starry Night, I just want the rest of them to be that way. But for now, I'm happy. I've got a Nightjet, which I had wanted for a long time. All right. Anyhow, in line 3, I don't know if I'm going to have this guy go the whole show. This is my class 181-2. And it's a great locomotive, but this is the biggest load I've ever asked it to pull. I don't think I've ever had it on the container wagon. And I had to crank the speed up a bit for it to really do okay with it. Maybe as it warms up, because it's been a little while since I ran it, we'll see how he does. And which Alan do we have? Sir Alan of Reynolds. Awesome. Welcome in. Welcome in. Gosh, it's so nice to have people that come by and say hello and watch me mess up trains. Okay. Line 4 is a class 143. And I believe these are the Silberlingas, I believe. But this is a Deutsche Regiobahn. And the new Loco, the little Luxembourg Loco with 2 cars. I was tempted to throw it on the inside lane, but I wanted it closer to the cameras since this is its first live stream. Whoops. Dude, what's up with that? I know what's up with that. But that is a Märklin. No, that is the Roco one. I was looking for the Märklin, found a Roco one. Hey, Sir Randall of Ellison. If Lord Al is out there, get your butt in here. Wittenberger Kopf Silberlinge in Regio Red. Yep, the Wittenberger Kopf. That is a set of Märklin coaches, I believe. Because no, those are ESU coaches. My apology. That's ESU because the Munich Nuremberg Express is the Märklin coaches. All right, so we've got that guy going. I got one last one in the back. We've got the little DMU, the 648, also in the Deutsche Bahn red. So I got a couple of Deutsche Bahn red. Now the theme really was a weak theme at best. Really, there's a train I should be running today, but I just ran it a couple of weeks ago, and it needs a little bit of care that are expressed. But I was trying to run trains I might see when we were going to Luxembourg. So I got the Luxembourg train and then an IC4. It's possible to see an Austrian railjet because you have the Vienna Paris one, but I don't think that goes. It might go through the Cologne area, but I don't know. Or I don't know if it would go across South Freiburg and come up that way. So like I said, it's a weak theme. It's a weak theme, but just something you might see in Western Germany border areas. Well, apparently, according to my research, EFO, they're still used in passenger because they're the Trax Class 185. It is the Trax Class 185, but Luxembourg uses it for passenger and freight. But apparently, the 40 whatever series is still used in passenger, and I can vouch for that because when we were in was it Trier or was it Saarburg? It was one of those two cities. We saw that train. We actually rode the double-deckers, the Luxembourg double-deckers from Trier to Saarburg. And then we saw another one with this type of loco. We didn't have that. In fact, I'm not sure we didn't have a Belgian loco on our train. Oh, well, that is awesome. The TT Gutzold. I didn't know Gutzold made TT, but to be honest, I don't know much about Gutzold. Andy, I think so. The only thing is we didn't make it into Luxembourg. We wound up stopping in Saarburg and not going any further because we were running out of time. And we decided to go ahead and visit Saarburg instead because Joyce wanted to see the waterfalls in the middle of the town, which was very pretty. We ate lunch right next to them, or dinner, I should say, right next to them. 1969 product. Well, there you go. Isn't it amazing? 1969 was the year my father bought me a model train set, an HO, a Tyco set, Santa Fe Super Chief. And I just remember it had a rolling road. Sorry, cell phone. It had a rolling road with a couple of Santa Fe semi-tractors, trailers. And it had a Baby Ruth car. And it had a something else box car. Was it a Santa Fe box car? I forget. But yeah, I loop a track and a controller. I didn't play with it much. We moved a couple of years after I got it. And the place we moved to, I didn't have room to get it out and set it up. It sat in a toy chest. I think a couple of times I would play with my little HO scale war figures that I collected, the Airfix and Italieri ones. And I would use it. I'd use the tracks as part of a battle scene. Like the Allies were trying to capture this rail joint. The German soldiers were trying to stop them. Hi, Monsville. You have the church and you bought it off eBay. Well, that's where I bought it. Okay, you're still in New Zealand. All right, Mon. Yeah, I mean, I thought the locomotive was cool, but this is going to sound silly considering I'm such a fanatic in the hobby, and I still just run a big circle. But as a kid who was into sports and being outside, it was a loop of track, and it just ran in a circle. And for whatever reason, that did not appeal to my autism when I was 6. It did not appeal. The electric football I got a couple of years later with players vibrating and moving and chaos, that appealed to me. But the train going in a circle, it's like it wasn't interactive enough. But now in digital, it's still, I just have a big flat loop. Okay, I don't have a lot of fancy terrain. I don't have hills because the area I'm actually creating, the actual area, is flat. But also, I just didn't want. I used to do stuff like that, like when we would play tabletop wargaming and got into Lord of the Rings tabletop wargaming. I built Moria with the cave walls and the sides and everything. And it was awesome. My kids loved it. You've been buying, hey, Sir Ray from Ray Central, welcome in. Great to have you here. And Sir Raymond of Legs is here. So, you know, but in the end, it's still just an end chaser. I mean, it's shaped like a giant C or a giant U or however you want to look at it. You know, or it could be the letter N, but however you look at it, it's just two big rounds connected by a skinny middle section. And it's totally non-prototype because it's all these lanes that you would not see this much traffic running next to each other except going into or out of a station or a siding. But it's what I wanted. It's what I need because rule one, right? You run what you want, you build what suits you. You're not building for other people. Yes, I'm on YouTube now. Yes, people come and watch my channel, but no matter who you are, you can't build for your audience. You got to build for you. Is there a DCC ready version? Yes, there are, but Märklin does not make DCC ready. I don't think Roco does. Roco makes analog, basic DCC, and then super lots of functions DCC. Piko and Roco will they'll make 2 versions or up to 4. Like Piko can do a cheap Piko hobby version, analog or cheap digital. Then it'll do its more advanced, like I always forget what they call it. Collector, professional level, and then their exclusive stuff, the really high-end stuff. Märklin, other than the Märklin Startup. If it says Märklin Startup, it's lower end stuff. And by lower end, just cheaper price point, but it's still digital. Märklin does still release some things analog, but I'm sure I'll get corrected if I'm wrong, but I would say it seems to me about 90% of what Märklin releases today, at least 90% is digital. It's just whether it's 6 functions digital or 38 functions digital. Yes. Yeah, Märklin makes, because there are still tons of people who run Märklin analog. There are Märklin analog controllers out there, just like what you have here, or what you might have, your standard decoder controller, your little dial and switch. And they have all kinds, because there's Märklin Delta Digital, before they even got into the full Delta. You'll be back in 30 minutes. All right, we'll be timing. But the thing I like, because, when I was watching all the German channels, because I started buying German trains, speaking German, I was watching all the German channels. And these guys all had the Z21 or Z21, as we say in America, the Roco Fleischmann controller, digital controller system, or the Märklin Central Station, or the ESU ECOS. All the guys had those. And then everybody makes their little hand controllers, like the Roco mouse and so forth. But the thing that always attracted me once I got into it, and it's the first controller I ever got, was the Mobile Station 2. Boy, I don't want to put my big mug on there, but let's change view. Well, that one doesn't have me on it. But the Mobile Station 2. And again, when I watch guys using their NCE power cabs and that, you're constantly hitting multiple buttons to do this, to do that, to This one, it's all on screen. I do occasionally have to hit a button, but not nearly as often as I watch the guys with the power cabs, and this does it all. And the other thing is the Märklin stuff, almost anything digital, especially modern digital, automatically loads into these. Roco is the one that's funny because Roco has at least 2 different types of decoders. Some of their decoders, even for their Märklin stuff, is just straight out DCC. Others of them are DCC and MFX, which is Märklin's personal programming language. It's the same thing as DCC, just different. It's the same, but different. You know, everybody uses DCC to mean digital. Well, Märklin is digital, but they have a different language. But all the Z21, everything reads the MFX as well. The ECOS reads the MFX, and the MM, which is Märklin Motorola, which was the old one before they upgraded to MFX, and now it's MFX Plus. I don't know if they'll eventually go MFX Squared, whatever their next generation will be. Actually, it's not really complicated. What I like about it is, you know, if you're analog, you're analog. If you're digital, you're digital. But basic Märklin digital, there isn't really a difference between basic Märklin digital and analog, other than it's now digital. But you still just put the train on the track, plug in your controller, and the nice thing is if it's a Märklin decoder within the last 10, 15 years, this automatically reads it. You don't. So unlike other digital where you have to load it in manually, this just automatically reads it. And this automatically usually reads DCC. The problem is like that Roco, and that's a new Loco that came out at the end of last year. The Luxembourg one coming into view right now. That's a new one. That's a 2025 new model. But they put their basic decoder in that preset to address 3. So I have to tell my central station, new Loco, address 3. And then once it reads the Loco, I can change the address. And that's the most complicated thing there is. And yes, you can be both. Hey, Sir Brian Ajemski and Sir Andy of Puff Candy. Nope, this is the card reader. Only my wireless does not have the card reader anymore. The wireless, this is truly the mobile station because you're actually mobile with this one. This should be called the limited mobile station because you are on a wire. There's only about 6 feet or so you can go. I think it's 2 meters. So close to 7 feet. 6.5, 7 feet. But yeah, this one has the card reader. The wireless ones don't have. But like I like to let Kyan use this one so he can walk around the table when he's running my trains. And Kyan is becoming very proficient on a mobile station too. Sadly, I should say sadly, but he just turned 5 a couple of months ago. The first question he always asks is, how fast can I go, Opa? How fast can I go, Opa? And I'm like, not that fast. You now have a non-proliferation pack. Last time I plugged in my controller, we got Richard. Uh-oh. Analog with good old reliable FZ1. Yeah, and it's funny you say that, Brian. And I know we had this conversation a while back, I believe, a couple of years ago or something. sometimes it's Roco is my second favorite company after Märklin. I'm into Märklin. I love Märklin. I don't think Märklin's the best company. I don't think there's a best company. Piko's best stuff, Roco's best stuff, Märklin's best stuff are dead even to me. I like Märklin because it's what I got, and I just have that attitude. I have Märklin track. I have Märklin controllers. I just think like works with like better. Because before I had the Central Station 3, I had the ECOS. And the ECOS had no problems with my Märklin. But my Rocos, it did have some problems with. But my Rocos work fine with my Central Station 3. I haven't had a problem with Roco and Central Station 3. My Model Bon Union, that RRX, that and my Central Station 3 have issues where it likes to change its address. It'll just decide, oh, I'm address 3 now. No, you're not. You have 5 Bachmann controllers. I have 1 Bachmann down here running the DC layout. Oh, I never nobody even said anything to me, or if you did, I missed it. I got to start the guys down low. I got babbling about stuff, and if you guys yelled at me, I didn't even see it. When are you going to start the bottom? On the bottom, I could not decide what to run. I've been having trouble deciding what to run. I can't tell if he's derailed or not. I think he is. But I'm running that Australian train Artie gave me. I realized I haven't run it since I got it from Artie. You are derailed. Dude, what's up with that? All right, who's derailed anyway? Did you just stop over there? Oh my God. Why are you all being so goofy down here? Looks like he's trying to start his motor. Oh, they are just going to keep acting up. Why are you derailing? Could we have some cooperation? Nope. Why are you derailing? Do I have to take you off? Yeah, and as you can see, that Aussie one is stopping. It was doing that for a bit, and then it seemed to get itself going. But they've got really touchy, that Austrasian one, it has really touchy couplers, and it's circuit conducting couplers. You know, it runs the lines through it like my IC4. And so as it pulls on the straights, I have to go in there every now and then and kind of push them tighter together. Hey, Sir Simon from the Midland Rail Enthusiast. Hope you're well. You're out on a walk. Well, that's cool. And hello, Sir Hi. Nice view through my glasses. Well, I'm sorry. I had to get my butt down there and fix it. But hopefully it will slowly start getting its thing going. It keeps slowing down on the two straights. It's doing fine through the curves, but like right there, you see a little bit of a hesitation. Just pretend it's making a stop. No, Ray, the rails are the same. The only thing difference between Tricks, C-Track, which I've got some down here, it's code 83. And the only difference between them is Märklin doesn't put the third rail on the Tricks C-Track. It's the exact same thing. Hey, Sir Chris, the Model Train Aficionado is here. Awesome to have you. You got 0.75 on your glasses. Okay, then. But now that we got everybody moving. But yeah, I was having a little bit of an issue with those two this morning, and then I got them straightened out. But unfortunately, I stopped and let them set for a while. But yeah, I'm going to slow that Nightjet down just a bit. Man, I love that Nightjet. Let's try to catch it in a couple of cameras if I can quickly. Nope. Wrong way. All right, we're just going to go the other way. Quick, up the ramp. Quick, hurry. There's no time. I had a three-way meeting there. We had a three-way in Delmenhorst. Wow, he is flying. I got to slow him down. But that's a nice view, catching him coming around. That's a great view. Bridge view. Whoops. I skipped ahead a ways. Sorry, I jumped about 4 cameras ahead. Did I look at that passenger set? Yes, but I forget. I'm going to have to go back and look at it again. I have been looking at so many trades. My brain is sort of overloaded. Yeah, the Edelweiss ones. They were nice, just a little bit out of my price range. Although right now, hey, Ifo or Raymond Legs, maybe you know, the Märklin Rheingold Blue and Cream set 4228. I can't find information on them specifically, but do those light up? Were those designed to light up? The 4228. In other words, would they go with my would they go with this set? My blue and cream Rheingold. Because the cars are identical in design. All right, did I see Kyle Stevens is taking off? Hey, Sir Greg, hello, hello. And Sir Edward from Happy Valleys, hello. Yeah, I saw the channel when you linked it as a message. I mean, I love the Orient Express, and it's cool to see them, but after a while, it's like, okay, I've seen it. It just makes me want mine. I don't necessarily go to another channel to watch them all the time. I'm just want mine. I want a true Orient Express. Somebody had a set of them for about 350 euros on eBay. but they don't ship to the United States. Trust me, I told Joyce I was about to get the credit card out. Oh, ping. Now, who would be pinging me during the live stream? Somebody in the live stream, probably. Got to ask permission to use my own phone. Ian King sent a photo. Just finished these Metcalf. Oh, very nice. I like those. Very nice, Ian. Very, very cool. Yeah. Hey, Sir Anthony Downs, welcome in. Need to get more Märklin. I say that all the time, and Joyce looks at me as though I've got spiders crawling out of my ears. Disgusted and horrified at the same time. Do you really need another train? Do I need it? Well, yes, in some emotionally complicated way, I need it. And I need it more than want it. And I want it for all time. 'Cause my Märklin locomotive is sure running fine. Exactly. The key is being somewhere that sells them. They're not exactly laying on the shelves in this part of my world. So I have to go into shops and look. And even then, some shops are better than others. I have got quite a shopping list for Germany this year. That's the most realistic track. Gumdrops in the middle. Just pretend it's a bunch of animal crap. Oh, yes, at least two. And I think 3 are the Venice Simplon. It's a mix. In fact, there is a 5-car Orient Express set by Lima on eBay right now, but it's a more modern version, and I really want, Murder on the Orient Express type. I want the classic. If I'm going to have one, or LZB wire mounts, I'll avoid that. All right, take care, man. No, in all honesty, though, Joyce, I think everybody has figured out, is extremely supportive. She denies being into the hobby, but she is in the hobby. She's on the periphery, but she's on the hobby. She will come down and watch me run my trains now and then. She will ask me how things are doing. When she comes down for the live stream, she asks me, is there a theme? Because she knows I like to do themes, and sometimes I don't have one. Do other manufacturers use Märklin AC track? No. Now, other companies make stuff for Märklin, but Märklin is the big monster in the room, so most people don't even try to compete. Even in the United States, MTH made locomotives for Märklin. MTH specifically had 3-rail stuff specifically for the Märklin system because they had so many people asking them for American product, but for 3-rail. So every now and then when I'm in the mood to look for an American locomotive and see if there's one that strikes my fancy, I look for MTH. Yeah, your wife Mary is definitely. Yeah, but that's a different question. Yeah, that's true, KJ. I can't imagine. It'd be funny if somebody did the Murder on the Orient Express. I just use that movie as because that's sort of in my mind the ideals. But I've got the loco for it, both AC and DC, digital and analog. I've got that gorgeous 241 and the really gorgeous 231 from Märklin in digital. Yeah, Hobby Trade Lemke. All right, Sir Anthony Downs, thank you for stepping in and visiting with us. I appreciate it. I love to see folks that come back because a lot of people will pop in once, maybe twice, and then you never see them again. There's something unique about the people who decide to stay. I don't know what it is. Hey, Tom, you got to be more specific than that. I'm still an Anthony D. Is that the nice way of saying you're strange? I don't know. I don't even know if it's a nice way of saying it. It is not false hubris. I am very willing to admit where I have ego, where I'm very cocky and cocksure, and then where I'm very self-doubting, self-deprecating. But after 300 and how many, which one are we on? 308? 308 live stream. And I still don't know why as many people tune in and watch. And the additional number of people that watch on replay. I mean, whatever the show ends with, how many people came in, you know, whatever the number is, the number of people who then watch, the additional watches we gain, views we gain after it, and the watch time hours is amazing. I tend to be, if I miss a live stream, I miss the live stream. I don't go back and watch it because I have so many other videos to watch. And I try very hard not to miss. Now, if somebody posts like 8 videos in a day, I might just watch all 8 and comment on the 8th one. And just say, hey, that was a nice series of videos today, you know. But going to get a couple people in this view in a minute. A couple people, trains. There we go. There's that class 143. A very solid Märklin runner. And those ESU coaches, which are, to be honest, they did not give me a good impression of ESU. I know ESU's decoders and everything at one time were considered best in the business, although you're finding a lot of people now that think ESU, Lock Pilot, and Lock Sound are not, that they're no longer industry best. But there was a long time there where ESU decoders, that especially on the European side, they were the best. She's afraid she'll break something. Well, I don't know Mary well enough to make any sort of honest suggestion, but the first thing you say is, it's no different than convincing. You know, a kid wants to run. You get kids that want to run your trades, and you're scared they'll break something. Well, it's no different with somebody. You just say, hey, if you break it, you break it. It's not like we haven't broken things or burned decoders out. But you find a time when you're feeling good and you're running your trades, they come down, you just say, here, it's already on the track. Just make it stop. That one of the first things you can do is tell them the train is running, make it stop. And what they do is they turn it down, and they might turn it fast or they might turn it very slowly, whichever way is going to make it stop. But what happens is that also puts into their brain how far they should go to make it go again. So like I did that with Kyan, is he wanted to run a train. I say, okay, well, this train is running. Do you want to make it stop? It's already running. Do you want to make it stop? Okay. So he turned it down. And from that time on, he's really had a good idea. But of course, he's 5 and he wants to see these trains flying around the track. And we have had races. I've gotten out some of my less expensive but nice locos, like these KLVMs. I've got 9 KLVMs. He can break 1 or 2. I'm not going to be upset. I certainly don't want to scare him off the hobby. Like, got it! So we even put up a video. It got about 3,000 views of Kyan, and Kyan and I were racing. And he's really not making him go that fast, but he's all excited. Oh, I'm beating you. I'm beating you. I'm like, I'm catching up, Kyan. I'm catching up. And the number of dislikes that video got, a 4-year-old kid running trains with his Opa clearly overseeing everything, but because we were racing our trains, some of the comments and the number of dislikes on that video was ridiculous. It's like, lighten up, people. This is why they don't get into the hobby, because you're out there, oh, what are you doing? You can't race that. That train has to run at 35 kilometers an hour. It's like, let the kid race it. You know, obviously you don't want to go so fast it flies off the curve. But you can convince them they're racing it without it going 500 miles an hour. Exactly. We've all messed up. Joyce has run trains. Joyce knows how to run the system. She knows how to turn things on. She knows how to turn things off. She knows how to turn all the functions on. She knows how to speed the train up, slow it down. She knows it all. She's only run trains a couple of times, and then she did one video on it's on her channel. She did a series of videos on what it's like being married to a model train person. And she did one where she came down and did a sneak run. So she turns my system on and she ran a couple of trains, and then she stops them, turns it off. It goes, I don't know what the big deal is. And she ran upstairs. It was all tongue in cheek. I didn't know she was doing the video, but she did it. And it was our sense of humor. Oh, that's awesome, Jason. Those are the stories I love. Those are stories I love, because I was not into trains when my kids were little. Now, my kids and I bonded over some of their artistic endeavors, over video games. They got into X-Men because of me. They were all into X-Men comics and video games and the X-Men cartoon, the old classic one of the early 90s. And my son and I, and actually my second daughter, Elizabeth, bonded a lot over tabletop wargaming. But I wasn't into trains when they were little. So my grandson is my first attempt to bond with trains, to have somebody in the family that wants to run trains. But he goes months where he doesn't want to have anything. And then this week, he wants to be down here. But even when he's down here, he starts off like, let's run trains, Opa. Okay, I turn the trains on, we make them go. And 5 minutes later, it's like, Opa, can we go upstairs and watch Paw Patrol? And I'm like, we just started running trains. But then he saw me painting the church. So let me get this. So Kyan is, Opa, I want to build a layout right now. And I'm like, what? I want to build a layout right now. Well, you can't build a layout right now. And he's like, I need some foam. What do you need foam for? Because I want to put some trees in the foam. So I went over and took one of my spare sheets of foam and said, go at it, kid. So Kyan is building his first layout or diorama or whatever you want to call it. He's building his first layout. But then he came over and saw me put that I had been putting these stickers on this building, and Kyan loves stickers. So Kyan decided he wanted a brick building. So I took one of my 3D prints off my layout, and Kyan is making it a brick building. Brick roof, brick walls, and then a warning that you're not allowed to drive your car into the building. I don't know why Kyan felt this building needed that warning, but Kyan was doing this. So when I was doing the stickers, then on Thursday, he came over and saw that I had been painting the church. Opa, I want to paint. And he had asked me if he could paint on Tuesday. And I said, no, you don't have. Well, he came over Thursday and the paint was drying and he knows where my paints are. So he's grabbing paint. Opa, I want to paint. I'm like, okay. So we turned the trains on and then he came over to my work bar over there. And he started painting. Actually, the kid, if you get past that everything's all these different colors, look at his scenes. This kid has his mother's training. My eldest daughter, Lynn, Kyan's mom, is a beautiful artist. And oh my goodness, he painted that roof and there is no oversplash with the green. Let me show you the green. Look at that. That kid did all right. Now the red, he was doing fine, but then he's right-handed, but instead of shifting so he can use his right hand, he throws the paintbrush into his left hand. He does this with everything. He'll just, instead of shifting to adjust, he just changes hands. So he's kind of ambidextrous. So he did get a little red on here. He did get a little red here, but he painted brown there. So I was watching him do this, and he put some gold. He's painting the front of the house gold, but he also got some green on it because he wanted to paint the window green. But by that time, he was already getting bored and ready to move on to something because that's his ADHD and autism. See, I have autism. Joyce has ADHD. He got them both. But to be honest, I was impressed watching him. I can't paint that neat at 60. And this little 5-year-old's like, boop, boop, boop. I'm like, kind of, you painted before? Yeah, Mama has let me paint, and we paint at school a bit. And so I'm still expecting him to take the paintbrush and try to do this. And nope, he's like, woo, 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 woo. So I don't care what colors he was painting. I gave it to him, go paint it. So he was just going to put a different color on every side. And hey, you're only a kid once. Enjoy it. You're only a kid once. Enjoy it. And if you're lucky, you can enjoy being a kid even as you get older. Well, hello, Sir Craig from CMD. All right, good night, Ifo. Yeah, actually, that's funny, Evo. I've been up since 5:30 my time. I woke up an hour earlier and just could not get back to sleep. Joyce has been in it. She's had a rough week and she hasn't been sleeping great off and on this week. And then I was plenty tired when I went to bed, but I didn't fall asleep till after midnight. And then I woke up 5:30. So have a good night, Ifo. It's possible they use kids in the model train factory. I'm not going to touch that one. Cayenne will be artistic because his mother is extremely artistic. Joyce is actually kind of artistic. I'm not. Even my stick figures look bad. Whoops, I bumped this. Getting up. Hey, Sir Clive is here. Clive, you've had a lot of great deals, but your last video was some of the coolest bits of stock I've seen you pick up. And that's saying something because you pick up a lot of stuff. Sir Dave from New Zealand. Hello, Sir Kiwi Dave. Sir Dave the Kiwi. It is awesome to see you here. It's been a little while. Another one of those long time, just amazing supporters of this channel. Always positive, always supportive. Appreciate it. Speaking of positive and supportive, I put up a post about it last night because I got a notification about a comment on Facebook. So I went to look at it, and it went to so I go to my dashboard to see if I got other comments. So I look at my dashboard, and if anybody follows YouTube dashboard, they give you a thing saying, what is it? Top videos last 48 hours. Top content last 48 hours by views. Top content last 48 hours by view. Now, usually it's my latest couple of videos. And for some reason, even though it's 4 years old or 3 years, I forget how old it is. My first video in what I called the Fowler car, the Fowler failures, my Fowler failures, that first video still gets a bunch of views. It's up to close to 10,000 views now. But it's consistently in my top 3. So I'll have my latest 2 videos and the Fowler, and sometimes Fowler is number 1 because people aren't watching my videos. Well, yesterday I had to do a double take because the most watched video over the last 48 hours on my channel was a song parody we posted almost 6 years ago, about 5.5 years ago. I'm like, why did that get 70 views in the last couple of days? Usually we get about 90% of the views the video is going to get in the first 3-4 days of a video with the song parodies. But not only did it get 60 to 70 views, it got like 10 extra likes. And with all those new views, it's now our second most watched song parody of all 54 we've done. Of course, our last 2 bombed. They didn't even break 200 views, which is my Mendoza line. I thought at least one of those would get 300-400 views, but nope, neither one did. One time you ran an O-gauge steam locomotive train off a train track when you were 4. Yeah, some of those O-gauges and like some of these old Märklins, yeah, you can drop them and put them right back on the track. You can drop them off the top of a table, lay out, bam, they hit the floor hard, leave a dent in the floor, but you put them on the track and they still run. Oh, they liked your TT Roco DoStos. Well, I'll have to go back and check that one. Yeah, she makes it there, Randall. All I can say is if Joyce, the last 2-3 weeks, if the rest of her year goes like that, she's going to retire this year. She's probably listening and getting mad at me saying that. But, she has got some parents that are just being, she only has these kids for, I don't know, is it an hour or 90 minutes? Joyce, if you're listening, can you type the answer in? But there's like 4 or 5 kids in this group that are all batshit crazy. One kid that just out of the blue will start slamming his books down, pulling his hair, banging his head on the desk, screaming, I can't do it, and he just freaks out. There's another kid that just gets out of his chair and wanders everywhere and might poke somebody. And then another kid that will put his arm out like you're not supposed to be walking around, and those two don't get along. And she's got another kid that just constantly waits for Joyce to turn her back so he can do something, act up. And there's no discipline. You know, Joyce can give them punishments, detentions or whatever, and kids don't serve. And administration is customer service. They never want to make the parents angry, so they'll eventually side with the parent against the teacher. You're doing something wrong, you know. And so Joyce did have one day where the kid freaked out. The kid freaked out. I just want to punch everybody in the face. And Joyce had already dealt with two of the cycles, and this kid just went crazy. And Joyce says, that's how I'm feeling right now. And she knew she shouldn't have said it, but it went from brain to mouth and home. Sorry, Joyce, I probably shouldn't have told that story. But, you know, she didn't mean it. She was just being a little angrily flippant. And, oh, yeah. Oh, your IC 131, 23,000 views. Man, I can't get that. Your French kid. Oh, yeah. I had an algebra 2 teacher that threw books at students. That was at a private Jesuit school. I would have been fired if I ever threw anything at a student. Now, mind you, I threw things over students' heads to get their attention, but I had something else. I had the Intimidator, which was a piece of wood that was kind of like a yardstick, but thicker. And boy, that made a good sound when it hit a wooden desk. Whack! And at one time it splintered, so I taped it up. So the last 20 years of my career, but I had that for pretty much 33 of my 36 years as a teacher. And my students know when I went over to the desk and grabbed the Intimidator, you would just hear the kids, you know, they didn't know what was going on the first couple of times, but once they realized anytime I grabbed the Intimidator and whacked my desk or an empty desk in the classroom, oh, they hated it. They hated that. Whack, whack. So I would just walk over. He's getting the Intimidator. Shut up. He's getting the Intimidator. Shut up. You don't know if you do long shorts or short longs. I have that same question, but it has nothing to do with videos. I don't know if it's a long short or a short long. The world's tallest short person or the world's shortest tall person. All right, Comer, welcome back. And did we see a Brian is leaving? All right, take care, Brian. Nope, my most watched video is a short that got 18,000 views. It's closing on 19,000. But if you look at a lot of model train channels that have a commensurate number of subscribers as I have, they get a lot more views. And there are channels half my size that get more views on their videos because I don't, you know, people can say, well, it's the production value, it's this, it's that. It's the reason I call myself the outsider. I have such an eclectic mix of what I do and how I display and perform it. It's just not to the average model train person's taste, which is why earlier I was talking about people coming in, you know, the people who come and stay versus the people that pop in, maybe hang out once or twice and then go, yeah, this isn't my thing. Because the vast majority of model train people, what I do doesn't have enough pull to them to keep them here. You know, you got the amazing Jenny Kirk. She's got 700 people in her live stream, maybe more. I haven't been there in a long time, so I don't know how many. And that's one of the reasons I don't go. The live stream goes so fast. I can't keep up with it. Hey there, Sir Lee. See you the next time. All right. Going to bed. Yeah, well, again, his name's Harrison, isn't it? Harrison, he had everything to make, but his channel's huge. His channel's huge. I mean, he's got 300,000 subs or 150, whatever it is. I think he is the biggest dedicated only to model train channel. He's the biggest I know of. In the UK, you had Everard Junction was the biggest. IC 82 was once the biggest. Sam's Train is the biggest now. Charlie from Chadwick, Charlie Bishop from Chadwick, he's getting up there now. But I have not seen a model train channel that's pure model trains, you know, doesn't have other stuff. Like Luke Towan is close to 2 million subs, or maybe he's way past that now. But he does a lot of things, diorama building models, blah, 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 and occasionally trains. Well, I would say my bar, but that's a different story. But, you know, the thing is, he's very serious about trains. He knows his stuff. He builds, he collects, he fixes, and he was a young guy, and he had a lot of young friends. And the thing is, as a young guy, you know, in high school, yes, he had the gamer channel, but the draw was all the old timers that make up the large majority of model train people were like, hey, here's a young kid that's doing the hobby the right way. And so they flocked in. So he gets some young people in, and it didn't hurt to have a few female friends in the video as well, because that will usually draw some people in, stupidly as that is. Because this hobby is so misogynistic. I'm sorry to be negative about the hobby, but in this hobby, women get treated badly. A woman trying to do model trains puts up with a lot more crap than a guy doing the exact same stuff. And the number of channels that leave because of the various types of harassment. You're just a woman. You don't know what you're doing. Yeah, SMT is Canadian. Did I say he was American? I said he was Canadian. Or I know he's Canadian. But he's the biggest channel, UK, Germany, United States. If people know, I mean, let's do that. Name the biggest channels by subscribers that you're aware of that are strictly model trains, that they don't do other things. But my point is, I don't pull people in that way, because the Germans, I used to get more views when I had 600 subs, because at that time I was doing all the Märklin stuff, and the European guys were really into it. But when I stopped doing the more serious Märklin stuff, even though I started with the silly stuff with the Ghost in 2015, when I started doing, when I took the Märklin stuff as far as I knew, and I wasn't building my layout, and I wasn't putting catenary in or catenary, you know, depends on what part of the world you're in. And I was not running prototypical track. A lot of the Europeans left me. So, you know, if you go back to my old model train, the Märklin Outsider shows, there's about 30 of them. Well, not even that many. They're all well over 1,000 views each, and that's back when I had 500 subs. 500 to about 750 subs, because I stopped them before I hit 1,000. But all those videos, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views, because I was doing serious model train stuff, and people loved it because I was speaking English, and for most Märklin stuff, you had to go German. But once I was like, I'm not going to do block detection, and I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to show you how to wire this up because I'm not going to do it. Blah, 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 blah. I lost them. And then I made all the UK friends. And people like Alan Wiles from Dragon Junction and a few other people gave me some big shout outs. And that grew my channel. But people come to this channel and they see my layout. It's kind of flat. And for a long time, nothing was happening on my layout. I did a lot of work on my layout last year. And after a while, they get bored. It's not realistic enough for those people. Nothing's happening for those people. And so you come to this channel because you like the trains, and maybe you like my personality, or I'm not obnoxious enough that you can stick around and listen to me for an hour or two. But all the comedy stuff, I can't tell you how many people beg me to stop putting the comedy stuff up, but Matt Clark will go up when I get around to writing it. The parody songs will go up, and I don't care if only 100 people. I do care, but I'm going to do it whether they get 500 views or 100 views because it's fun. Joyce and I have a lot of quality bonding time when we're doing those videos, whether it's Matt Clark or the parody songs. We sit here and it's better than a romantic date out. We laugh, we're joking. She'll make suggestions. I'll throw ideas out, and we just constantly bond over it. So I would never stop doing that. But all right, good night. Hi. Yeah, and KJ, true story. Tommy Canada is building that layout because of me, although he doesn't really talk to me anymore. He doesn't come to my live streams anymore. He used to visit here, but I could go to the video and show you where he said, thanks to your videos, my love of Märklin has been reignited, and I'm going to start building a layout. Hey, Dirk from Chesty Trains. Oh, Liz from Windsor. Tom Houston, are you talking Liz from Windsor? Because she's got a great. Yeah, I was at the time really, big into just new into Märklin, and I had a lot less trains back then, but he started coming into my live streams and watching my videos, and he just loved it. And it inspired him to go back to Märklin. And now his channel is 3 times the size of mine. Oh, thank you, Andy81E. I've noticed that. It's running very smooth. I worried about it because when I was first testing it, it was seeming a little sluggish and need a little extra juice to run. But even Joyce looked at me and said last night, she said, maybe it'll warm up. Well, I think it warmed up. But, I still, I get linked to channels and I look at them and go, they've got 35,000 subs and I have never heard of them. And I'm at a point where I think I've been in the model train community enough that I don't think I should be running into trains or channels that have that many subs, and I had not heard of them. But yes, I'm running into them. But then I've got a lot more subs than somebody put up a Google stat, and it was listing percentage. And like if you have 3,000 subs, you have more subscribers than something like 72% of all the active channels on YouTube. And I'm nearing there. I'm less than 100 away from 3,000, which is it's weird because I still feel like I have 300 subs. it's really weird because I'm actually bigger than channels that I started following. And when I looked at their subscriber numbers, I thought, God, I could never reach that plateau. And I've actually passed them now, even for my small number. But sometimes you just have the it factor. You know, everybody talks about algorithms, this, and I know we talk about this a lot, but there is a luck factor. There's just blind, dumb luck. There are certain things you can guess. For example, if you're a young guy, very enthusiastic, and it doesn't hurt to be good looking, but like Double O'Neill in the UK and Ali from Wardle Road, those guys, I was one of the earliest subscribers. I was like number 25 for Ali and like number 37 for Double O'Neill. I was very early. And I remember after watching their first couple of videos saying, you're going to be big. You have whatever it is. You're a young guy. You're good looking. You're enthusiastic. You're working. You're building. You have some knowledge. And yeah, they both hit 5,000 plus subs very quickly. Ali got near 8,000 before he kind of left YouTube. He now drives real trains, so he doesn't really work on the models much. Still blown away by his greeting of me at Getz. I was getting teased that somebody wanted to meet me and they were really excited to meet me and really wanted to meet me. And then Graham from Leamington Station takes me up and like, he's over here, he's waiting for you. And I see Ali over there. I go, where is he? He's right there. Ali? Yeah, he's really excited. And when he sees me, he comes up, big grin on his face, gives me a hug, gives Joyce a hug. I'm so happy to meet you, Anthony. It's so great to actually meet you. I can't believe you're actually here. And I'm like, dude, you're the YouTube star, not me. But he's like, you've always been one of my biggest supporters. Should you feel special? I don't know. Should you? I don't feel special for the number of subs. I'm amazed at the number. And every time we start closing in, and yeah, I made a big deal about it. I don't know that I feel special. I am grateful. I am just gobsmacked grateful that I have actually gotten to stand in the same room with some of the people that come in this chat. That I have sat in a hotel bar and listened to Alan Reynolds tell jokes, and he listened to me, and we had some lively political discussions, and we laughed and we drank and we had a good time. And Steve from Route 7 was there, and Clyde from Newland Railway is there. Mick Edgley is there with his wife. Pete and Sue from Delft Junction are sitting there, and I know I'm going to forget a lot of other people. But man, 2 nights in a row, we just sat there. Oh, Paul and Paris from Small, UK people, obviously. I got to meet them. And then before that at York, when I got to meet Leslie Gilpin, Andrew, March West Junction. I got to meet longtime friend Christopher at the Warley show at Stafford Barn. And I got to meet Brian, one of my longest YouTube friends, Brian Finn from Finnerton Central. And again, being my outsider, American into European trains and hanging around with a bunch of British channels. The odds of meeting people, but yeah, and then we went to the UK in 2022, and I got to hang out in Jim from Hover Motion's amazing layout. And Jim is a god to me. I have such a bro crush on Jim. I still do after all these years. And I've watched his family grow. I remember watching his videos when his 2 girls were like 9 and 6, and now they're like 20 and 23 3 or somewhere near there. And Jim doesn't post as many videos as he used to, but he did just post a video game video because he does a little bit of everything. Because he's very busy, works hard, plays hard. But I got to meet him. Of course, Alan from Dragon Junction. Philip Page. How awesome. And then all the people we met at the York Model Railway. Richard Brown. Although I always felt I slighted him there, but I made up for it at Getz. But these people that you meet them and you're just gobsmacked. To me, they're the stars. I'm some schmuck from Toledo. They're the people I'm watching on my TV. They're TV stars to me. And they're just the nicest people. They treated Joyce and me so wonderfully. When we went to Getz, I was hanging around with Dino and Christopher a bit. And Joyce, Hot Dog Pilot Andy, and Richard were sometimes going left when we went right. But Joyce talks about how great it was talking to Richard and Andy. And of course, I had a great time talking to Andy and Dino and that. But it was to get to meet these people. And finally, last August, I went up to Canada. And I've missed so many opportunities. But we finally went up to Canada. And we had a narrow window. We couldn't spend the whole weekend. We got there late Friday night. But we got to go to Sparky's. We met some great people. I met Darren from Canadian Logistics. We met on Saturday. We met Chris and Mary from Model Train Aficionado, and just so many great channels. And it was just great to meet them. Floyd Peters, Todd Armstrong. We met Dave from Scott Rails. That blew us away. And then I spent 3 weeks in Australia with Artie. I would never. Joyce could have said, honey, let's go to Australia. I would have said, no, I'm not taking that long flight. But Artie was there, offered us a place to stay. Artie is like a brother to me, along with Jean Ricard. And so I went to Australia. I would never have gone to Australia if it hadn't have been about Artie. And then Artie showed us the time of our life in Australia. Memories that we will never erase from our brains. And we met Jean Ricard and spent 3 days with him in Hamburg. And then we spent 10 days, 9 or 10 days, parts of 10 days with him. And that was brilliant. And again, sometimes I think there's a competition over who showed us the best time. But the fact is, the stuff we saw in Australia and the stuff we saw in Denmark, you can't compare them. You can't say, well, I like this more than that. It was perfection. And all Jean and Artie talk about is what we didn't see. Oh, I wish I had taken you here and I wish I had taken you there. It's like, dude, we don't care about what we didn't see. What we saw was epic. And I hope we express our gratitude enough. Hey, Josh Cannon. Oh, you were here earlier. Oh, yeah, that is an Austrian Nightjet, although this one is co-sponsored by Swiss Federal Railways. So it's OBB and SBB. Well, which Luke? The key is, which Luke are we talking about? Luke Towan? That might explain why he has. I mean, I'm not subscribed to him anymore. I unsubscribe from channels for no other reason than there are only so many videos I can watch, and I always focus on my friends, the people I actually talk to, that if I leave a comment, will comment back. And so I never get around to watching their videos because I'm going to watch Tim and Andy and Mick and everybody else. And I save the big channels, and I never get to them. I finally unsubscribed from Sam's Trains because I haven't watched the Sam's Train video in like 9-10 months. And I realized, and it's nothing against Sam. Sam's awesome. I love Sam from Sam's Train. But I've got so many minutes to watch so many videos, and I'm going to make sure I watch the people that I communicate with, people that I talk to, my friends, if I can say that. I'm going to watch their videos and save the ones from channels that I'm not really cool with. And so I stop watching them because I'm not, this is going to sound terrible, but I'm not watching videos to be educated. I'm watching videos to be entertained. So I don't care where they're running their trains or how they're running their trains or what trains they're running, if they're running them backwards, forwards, sideways, or if they're throwing trains against the wall. If they got a love and enthusiasm and they come across as a cool person, I'll watch their channel. Hey, Sir Kieran, how are you? The most disappointing place is Pudding Lane. Never bother. Huh. To be honest, Andy, not that it's related, but since you talk about avoiding Pudding Lane, one of my goals, if we had been able to make it to the UK, is we were hoping to be able to somehow get near your place and I could sneak into your shed. Oh, Boulder Creek. I miss him. Ray, what do you mean, what am I watching you for? Just kidding. I know you're just kidding, but I mean, we all have that. A lot of us. And that's probably why I like the channels that don't get why anybody watches. Why does anybody tune into me? For that reason. You're not a smug, pompous jackass. You know. Yeah, definitely don't bash modelers. Hey, welcome to Dougler. Great to have you here. But and the thing is, I'm loyal to channels I've been around forever. Ray, I subscribed to you before COVID or early on in COVID. You come across as a nice guy. You're trying, you're doing, you love your trains. You've got a great backstory about the 3 generations of layouts and I wasn't there for the beginning time. The great connection to your father, which I have jealousy of. In many ways, I'm jealous of those kind of connections. Both, it would have been cool to have had a father that was into model trains that would have given this passion to me, although my train traveling in Germany probably still would have switched me over to European. Just to have something, connection. The one connection my father and I had was Ohio State football, Cleveland Browns football, and racing cars. I was never big into NASCAR or that, but just cars. My dad loved muscle cars. And my dad did race cars when he was a younger guy. He stopped racing cars when I was born. He didn't stop for my 3 sisters, but when I came along, he stopped. No, unfortunately, Andy, Joyce and I, when it was time to sit down and start booking our trip, airfare to the UK was just unbelievable. Now, I will give you numbers. Last year, Joyce and I flew in the Delta Airline Comfort Plus, which gives you 3 extra. And for the 2 of us, we paid $3,200, which is my tax return. We paid $3,200 for our airfare last year. This year, it was $3,500 to go to Germany, which it was $3,200 to go to Germany last year. When we went to the UK in 2022, it was about $2,700, $2,800 for the 2 of us through Air Canada. But Comfort Plus to the UK, to Germany was $3,500. To the UK, $6,000. I kid you not, $6,000. we tried looking at multiple deals because people are like, well, try flying to Ireland and then a junket over. And I was like, it was still coming up $5,500, $6,000. That was just too much. And then finding places to stay was getting a little pricey. And then things happened, and Joyce decided she didn't want to travel at all. Joyce did not want to travel. She just decided there was too much bad mojo in the air. But we kept looking. We just could not find a cheap airfare to the UK. The only thing that was close was that it was about it was $2,300 for Joyce and me to sit in regular cramped, the cheapest economy seats. The lowest budget economy seats was about $2,300 to go to Germany and $2,700 to go to the UK. So we could have afforded that. But Joyce and I really did not want to sit in the lowest end of economy. I'm 6'3", almost 6'4". I usually claim 6'4" because the minute I put on a pair of socks or a pair of shoes, I'm 6'4". Hey, Demara, how are you? So the cheapest was doable. So we hemmed and hawed about it. Well, if we sat for the 7.5-hour flight, I've sat in low-end economy before, but I'm getting older. I've had a back injury since then. My knees are getting tired. I just did not want to sit in basic economy for that long a flight. So we canceled, and we did decide to go to Germany because it was doable. But we're only going for 3 weeks instead of our usual 4. Hey, Stormy Sky Productions, how are you? The ARG, yes. ARG Castle. Well, he wouldn't have just called it. He would have just said it. R, and then died. Well, that's what it says. You don't carve R. Well, that's what it bloody says. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? African or European? How are you so wise? Well, these are things you got to know when you're king. Eric Idle's on tour. Real sweet, yeah. Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Okay. All right, fellas. Let's go. They were down to 1, but didn't the last survivor of Sweet just pass away in the last few weeks? Because they're still around as Sweet, but it's the bass player who was not the main lead singer. The main lead singer died years ago. Ballroom Blitz, that's right. Yeah, the bass player is the only one left. The other 3 have all died. over the last 20 years. But God, was it Mitch? No. Was still around, and he still performs as Sweet, where he sings and he's got younger guys as backups. But I thought he just died, as in the last couple of months. But so many rock and rollers have died recently. Sadly, the greatest generation of rock and roll is passing away. Fox on the Run. Joyce loves Love Is Like Oxygen. It's one of her favorite songs. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Randall, I was going to ask, but got distracted. Andy, the lead guitarist, is the last one. The lead guitarist. I thought he was the bass player. I knew the names, but he was not the lead singer, but he sings the well, the man in the back is ready to attack his eyes as wide as the sun. And the girl in the corner won't let no one know it because she thinks she's the passionate one. He did that part in the song. But yeah, I thought Andy had passed away recently, very recently. Okay, so Andy Scott is still alive. Brian Connolly was the lead singer. Yeah. See, I can't, if I were to sit down and really think about it, I'll come up with their names. Brian, Steve, Andy, and Mick. Scorpions went through a lot of changes. Scorpions go back to the 60s, yes. Scorpions were first formed in the 60s. I'm not a huge fan. Obviously, they had a couple of hits in the 80s. That was okay. Rock You Like a Hurricane became big. I liked Crocus out of Switzerland. But the funny thing is, my German music tastes were always weird. Like, I love Kraftwerk. And by German, I'm going to say German language. Kraftwerk. Love Kraftwerk. Peter Schilling. Out of Austria, Falco. I loved Falco. Died 1998 in a motorcycle accident. Kraftwerk is very weird, but they were just different. And at the time, it was disco or different. And I went different. So punk rock, 60s rock, techno pop, anything. I've got a wide, it's easier to tell you what music I specifically don't like. I do not like disco, and I don't like club dance music, which is about 90% of the music most of my friends in the UK put on their videos. I did disco and club dance music. Modern pop music, the Katy Perry's and that crap. The Backstreet Boys and blah, 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 all that. I like old country, but I don't like any country since about 1980. I like old country, but not new pop country, especially the new, what I'm going to call fake country. They make sure they got a twang. They make sure they got the steel guitar. And they try to act like good old boys. And just no. Nena. 99 Luftballons might be the best song ever recorded. Oh, I will hardly agree with that. Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? Singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons. Denkst du, sowas kommt? Denkst du vielleicht gerade an Mensch? Sing ich ein Lied für dich. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Nena. And she went on to star in a children's show. But man, in the early 80s, I liked Nena for all the wrong reasons. I didn't care what she was singing. I just liked looking at her. The only thing wrong with Nena is she had blue eyes. She had dark hair, and I like dark hair and dark eyes. But she had dark brown hair, which was good enough. Your cat loves watching your trade go rod. Yes, but your cat may love it, but loves it for reasons you may not understand. Your cat's looking at going, yeah, that's interesting, but can I hunt it, kill it, and or eat it? And if I can't, I'm just sitting here. My cats would chase the Christmas train around the tree. And then at night, they would hop up on the table and ransack it. Cat thinks it's a mouse if it's unskilled. Yeah, there'd be that. I like 99 Luftballons or 99 Luftballons. I prefer the German version. And I love singing it. But, you know, depending on the rap, I can handle some rap. A lot of rap is too repetitive and fake, but there's some rap I don't mind. But otherwise, genres, I'm not big into thrash metal. I like heavy metal. I like hard rock. I like good old-fashioned rock. Back in the 80s, I loved the Romantics out of Detroit. I remember seeing them in a club just as they were getting big. All right, Rabel Bell, good night. Take care. And did I see Valkyrie? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And everybody check out Valkyrie's channel, please. Awesome layout and construction, cool trains. It's UK, but they got some good stuff. And it's a very, I hope this doesn't sound wrong saying it, very small channel right now, but get in at the ground level because they've got some great stuff there. Yeah, I like techno pop, but I can't get into electronica. Does that make sense? Probably not. I just can't get into pop and a lot of the pop today. I love 60s pop, some 70s pop, even some 80s pop. But, you know, the grunge and the new wave, punk, new romantics. Look, I like Adam Ant. Actually, I loved Adam and the Ants, and I liked Adam Ant's first couple of solo albums. And when I say I love Adam and the Ants, except for the Prince Charming album, there's Ant Rap and Prince Charming. But put the wax on the tracks and slide on out of here. Hi. Oh my God. I hate myself just for singing that bit. Oh, I love Ant music. I love it. I've seen Adam and Ant in concert I've seen Adam and the Ants in concert twice and Adam Ant 3 times. Once in 1982 and then twice in 2017. You're listening to Tears for Fears at the moment. Love Tears for Fears. Public Images Limited. I could never quite get into them. I don't know why, but I couldn't. Although they have a couple of songs I love. Because I like Johnny Rotten. And Johnny Rotten is very outspoken, but I often agree with some of his viewpoints. He called out that Jimmy Savile years before anybody else would. Everybody else waited until Savile died, and then let's talk about what a horrible monster he was. But Johnny Linden, Johnny Rotten called him out in 79. I love the Jam. You can get a good idea of what music I like by looking at our parody songs, because we don't do songs we don't like. People go, why don't you have a good country song on there? Because Joyce and I don't listen to country. You should do this song. We don't listen to that. Yeah, Rise is a good one. Digger Evans, and hello, Sir Digger. I saw Paul McCartney in concert, but never with Wings. I saw Paul McCartney in concert in 93. The band I've seen in concert the most, poor Tim Dowd's going to have to cover his ears. I've seen U2 in concert about 6 or 7 times. I've seen U2 in concert a lot. I saw Devo before they were really big, before Whip It came out. I saw them a few times. I saw Classic Foreigner, Bad Company, AC/DC, Journey, because they would come back in the 70s. Toledo had what was called the Speedway Jam, you know, a big outdoor concert at our old automotive racing park we used to have that's long gone now. But the Speedway Jam, and you would get big bands there. Saw Cheap Trick there just as they were finally gaining fame. I should do a parody song in ragtime. Yeah, not happening. Our songs will be various forms of pop and rock. I still got 2 Moody Blues songs I'd like Joyce to try again. And I've got a whole bunch of songs I have started recently, but my writer's block, that's also keeping Matt Clark from going. It's not even a writer's block. It's an emotional block. It's been very hard to sit down and write anything comedy. My head, every time I say, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to sit down and start writing, something bad happens. Something bad in the family. You know, I did get into a little bit of writer's block where I had changed some of the plot for this year's, or the Matt Clark Series 4, and I sat down and had to rewrite it. And then I realized I was kind of in a corner and I couldn't work my way out of it. Well, I worked my way out of that corner 2 months ago, but I don't have the mojo to be that funny because there's just so much bad stuff happening, both in Joyce and I's world. I mean, you know, our daughter, major surgery on Monday. My nephew committing suicide at Christmas time. Various illnesses within the family. Joyce just had 2 more deaths in her family this week, distant relatives. Cousins. All right, Dirk, take care. Thanks for popping in. It was great to see you. Who's asking that? Was that Edward? Yeah, Edward, if you go back and even the Matt Clark parodies, where Rusty Twinger does songs, it's either holiday songs, you know, because Rusty Twinger is usually big at the Christmas special, or it's modern rock songs. Even when Lil McGill sings, like Lil McGill, she did do the opera song "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina," her very first appearance. And again, we love to be. Wait a minute, it's supposed to be 1890s, and that song didn't come out until the 1980s or whatever. It's like, yeah, they're anachronistic. Rusty Twinger did Cowcane as opposed to Cocaine. One of my favorite bits where Lil McGill was singing. What series was it? Was it series 2 or series 3? She did 9 Inch Nails Closer, but she did it to the slow version we found. I want to beep you like an animal. And then we threw in the crowd going, oh! I want to feel you from the inside out. I want to beep you like an animal. You got Smokey going, I think I just went into puberty, and I don't even know what that is. Hey, Sir Simon, welcome in. Okay, let's see. Oh, Status Quo. I love Status Quo, Andy. Status Quo. Give me this. Now, my favorite era is the 60s. My favorite song is Pictures of Matchstick Men. That is by far and away my favorite Status Quo. And I know they had even bigger hits in the 70s and 80s. And what is it? They've had top 10 records or number 1 records in like 5 different decades. But yeah, they're... yeah, egos eventually got in the way. I guess when you've been together for 50 years, they find it just had an ugly divorce and then he passed away. And you're right. After the one dude got kicked out of the band, it was never the same. But it's like, I love Peter Gabriel's solo, and I like a lot. I'm one of the weird ones. My favorite songs of Genesis are split between Peter Gabriel stuff and then some of their more popular poppy stuff. I love Abacab. Now, when Phil Collins' ego got really big, I lost it. Now, I will say I don't mind I Can't Dance. I don't mind that one. Land of Illusion's a little bit cheesy. Decent message, but kind of forced cheesy. But the Abacab, heck, the Abacab album to a degree. Paper Lay, I like. Post Peter Gabriel. And not all of Peter Gabriel stuff with Genesis do I really like. They are always a hit and miss. They're a band where I'd say, do I like the band? I don't know. I like songs by the band. But my favorite Genesis song, Carpet Crawlers. I love Carpet Crawlers. That song just, oh, I love it. That's one of my favorite non-Beatles songs. Carpet Crawlers is up there. But Peter Gabriel's, my favorite Peter Gabriel song is Salisbury Hill. But then that album he released in the early 90s, In Your Eyes, Sledgehammer, and such, loved that album. That's just a gorgeous album. Now, some people might say he sold out and went pop there. The thing is, we still got to do a Stones song. I have got one Rolling Stones song written that I actually did the lyrics and started making the video where I sang it, and my singing was so bad, and I can't talk Joyce into singing it. I did the Stones song, Give Me Shelter. And it turned it into Give Me Locos. Sure, Jeff. Well, post a link to your channel and then people can check you out. And I don't want people that I say post a link to your channel doing that. Oh, I don't post. It seems no. There's a reason you guys have the blue shield, which used to be the blue spanner. It is so you can post a link to your channel and let us check you out. Because one, I want everybody to have a chance to do it. And two, I'm lazy and don't want to try to do everybody's link myself. That way you can advertise yourself. Well, you know, my kids kept me young to a degree with their music. Joyce still listens to a wider range of music. I've become a fuddy-duddy. I just don't listen to a lot of the new stuff. Every now and then I'll come across a song by a band, but, you know, I can't tell you a group that I like. I love the Gorillaz. I love Blur. I loved a lot of the Brit pop and shoegazer stuff that came out. But I haven't liked anything the Gorillaz have done since Plastic Beach. And even that album was a mix of some good stuff and some crap. Because it's all become whiny stuff. I loved it when he mixed the punk with the rock with the rap. I loved it. Clint Eastwood is still an awesome song. But yeah, I can't think of any bands I've discovered that are newer bands. But Joyce will, you know, has a bunch of bands. And of course, even the bands we consider new, these guys are now in their 40s and hitting 50. So I do have a wide range of taste, but I'd say anything in the last 10, 15 years, I'm really unfamiliar with. But, you know, if I list my favorite band, I'm Beatles, then The Who, The Kinks, Pink Floyd. I do love Pink Floyd, but I'm one of the... I think Syd Barrett was highly overrated. I liked some of the Syd Barrett era stuff, and I know Pink Floyd wouldn't have been Pink Floyd without Syd Barrett, but my favorite era of Pink Floyd is metal to Wish You Were Here. The Wall's got some of their best stuff on it, but The Wall is such an over-pretentious... And the album Animals, it's like Roger let the music play for a bit. They had to do 12-minute songs because 10 minutes of it is Roger singing. And just for the record, I can't stand David Gilmour or Roger Waters. That whole feud they've had all these years and still keep going at each other. They're like two crotchety old men that need to be put in an old folks home and just get the guitars out and beat each other to death. I'm sick of both of them. They both say stupid shit. There was a time where I appreciated David Gilmour, that Roger was the prima donna, but then you realize David Gilmour is just as big a prima donna and a self-absorbed nut job as Roger. He's just quieter about it. Well, like I said, I'm trying to think of the most recent band I got to do, but usually I hear songs, but I don't listen to the radio anymore, so I don't hear new stuff anymore. I've got MP3 playlist in my car, so I listen to the stuff I know I like, and I've got 200 playlists. Third band you've never started? Yeah, and it's okay. I mean, Dark Side of the Moon is an amazing album. Wish You Were Here is an amazing album. They've got great stuff through all their different eras. The only stuff I don't like is after Roger Waters left. But even there's a couple of songs I like on the Final Cut, and there's nothing I like. Even Division Bell, which a lot of my Pink Floyd friends like, I can't stand it. It's fake Pink Floyd. And the only reason it sounds remotely decent is on Division Bell, they finally let Richard Wright actually do some work instead of Roger or David telling him what to do. Richard Wright was the soul of Pink Floyd. Let's just put that there. And the more Roger and Dave pushed him aside, the worse Pink Floyd became. I like some of the Clash. There's also a lot of Clash I don't like. I love the Damned, but there's a lot of the Damned I don't like. But I'll tell you what, the Damned's version of the Arthur Love song, Alone Again, or I love that. That's my favorite version, even over the original Arthur Love. It's one of the few cases where I think the remake is better than the original, sort of like Twist and Shout. The Isley Brothers version of Twist and Shout is good, but the Beatles made it rock. But, and I think, to be honest, Kieran, my problem is that so much of pop and rock is corporate. It's so controlled by the Simon Cowells of the world. We are force-fed a version of rock, and you have to find the bands that haven't sold out yet and hope that they're honest. But even to get a break or a record deal anymore, you have to fit a certain look or genre. And it's more about sex appeal or outrageousness than it is quality. Another band from the 80s and 90s I love, REM. And I liked REM through all their phases. And again, I don't like all their songs, but boy, they always had some real winners on every single album they released. I like that way you phrased that, Chris. Music these days has to be suitable to play at an Apple event. Yeah. REM, heck yeah, there we go. Even the Kinks. I love the Kinks, but the Kinks had a lot of stuff I didn't like. But the Who, love the Who. The Stones, I like the Stones. I think people that always put the Beatles and the Stones on the same level don't get it. The Stones were never close to the Beatles. The Stones were always at the footsteps of the Beatles, even if they went different. Everything about the Stones, and I love a lot of the Stones music, but a lot of it was fake. Like the Beatles grew up in some of the toughest parts of Liverpool. They were tough guys. You know, the best thing to do is go watch the interview where Lemmy compares the Stones and the Beatles. Because somebody asked him, who did he prefer, the Stones or the Beatles? And he tore the Stones to shreds. He says, the Beatles were original. They were what it's about. The Stones were fakes. But even as fakes, it's like the Monkees. The Monkees were fakes, but they had a lot of great stuff. The Stones were brilliant. They wrote a lot of great songs. I love Street Fighting Man, Jumping Jack Flash. But pretty much everything they did in the 70s into the 80s, except Start Me Up, I like Start Me Up, was garbage. And they go around calling themselves the greatest rock and roll band in the world. No, you're not. You're a one-trick pony. Now, it's a good trick, but every great Stones song starts the same. They're great rockers. Whether it's Start Me Up, whether it's Street Fighting Man, you get that long intro chord. You know? Bum bum ba da bum ba da 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 bum bum ba da 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 da. You know, every one of their songs starts with that quick lick of a chord, and then into the song. Jumping Jack Flash, and there's a lot of similarities between Jumping Jack Flash and Street Fighting Man, and I love both those songs. I love them. I love Satisfaction. I love a lot of Stone songs. I love Sympathy for the Devil. That and Street Fighting Man are probably my two favorite Stone songs. I think that's their, I hate to say it's their best song, but I think that was a great song. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. Love that song. I wonder if I could do a train parody song of it. I've actually got a couple of lines in for Street Fighting Man as a train parody, but I've never gone any further. No, Bruce Springsteen was a blue collar guy. He really is. Of course, people right now, there are some people who aren't going to like Bruce Springsteen because he has been very vocal about his political views. And so some people are going to hate on him for that. But there's a lot of songs by Springsteen I like. There's a lot of songs. I wouldn't say I'm a Springsteen fan. There's a lot of songs I like and a lot of songs I don't like. I like the guy as a person. Oh, Ray Central. Now we have to fight. I can't stand Gwen Stefani. And I remember No Doubt before she became the singer. She slept her way through that band and then destroyed that band to start a solo career. And then she did a horrible version of Talk Talk's song, It's My Life. And then everybody thought she wrote it. She never wrote a song. Every song she sings, somebody else wrote. No Doubt had some decent stuff when they were first coming up. And then she came in and became she started, who'd she start with? She was dating the drummer. She dumped the drummer and started dating the guitarist. The drummer quit the band, and then she dumped the guitarist for the head songwriter. But the guitarist stayed in the band. It's sort of like what Terry Nunn did with Berlin. John wrote all the songs for Berlin and was a brilliant songwriter. She was the lead singer and got lead singeritis. And then he didn't want to do that. He wanted to write his own song for the Top Gun movie, but they were given Take My Breath Away and were contracted to do it because he thought when they were contracted to do a song for the movie, they were going to get to write it. And they said, no, here's the song. We want you to do it. And it created a division in the band, but then she chased him out, and Berlin was never the same. And then she went solo, and now she tours with a band called Terry Nunn's Berlin because they had a 20-some year legal fight over ownership of the name. Who remembers Boston Pop's Hooked on Classics? I do. Cranberries. Oh, I love the Cranberries. Yes. Cranberries were brilliant. Oh, I was so sad when she died. Mick, I could probably give you, I couldn't necessarily rank them, but I could definitely give you, I have certain songs that guaranteed are, like Strawberry Fields Forever and A Day in the Life will top my list of favorite songs, period. And then everything else goes by mood. For example, Happiness is a Warm Gun and Hey Bulldog are two of my favorite Beatles songs that most Beatle people don't really know. Hey Bulldog is one of the best Beatle rockers. It should have been released as a single. That is such an awesome song. That is just a great rock and roll song. When anybody goes, oh, the Beatles were just a boy band because all they've ever heard is I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's like, listen to Twist and Shout. Listen to Hey Bulldog. Listen to the hard version of Revolution. Listen to Helter Skelter. The Beatles could rock out in any genre of rock. Weird Al, yeah. I can't, yeah. Well, of course, Boston was a solo. Boston was just the one guy, and then he had other people. But when it came to recording, it was the singing and the music production. And then when they went on tour as Boston, he hired a band. No, I was not an Ohio Express fan. My favorite band from Ohio is Devo. Then you had the 1910 Fruit Gun Company, which, and then Chrissie Hynde of the Pretenders is from Ohio, but the rest of the Pretenders are from the UK, and that was a great band. At least up through their comeback album after, oh crap, I feel so bad. I forgot their names. After the two guys died within 6 months of each other, because they were the heart and soul of that band. But her tribute album to them was Middle of the Road. And that's, but after that, her ego got in the way. Oh, nope, they're all up here. Now we'll just go to the long view for a little bit. Oh, one of the, I'll wait till it comes around here and fix that. No, the problem is there aren't a lot of great Ohio bands. There's just a lot of great Ohioans in other bands. Actually, one of my favorite Ohio bands is the Michael Stanley Band. She can't love you like I love you. But yeah, Devo is probably my favorite all Ohioan band. Whoa, stop. Hang on, stop. Dude, stop. Man, you've got a long, I mean, I know you're a Roco, but still, even for Roco, that was a long. All right, back to work. Break's over. Sorry, for some reason, one of the containers had popped loose. Like Kiss, there's a couple of Kiss songs I like, but I never liked Kiss. I always thought they're Cheap Trick. That's a band that I loved their heyday, and then a couple of their comeback albums, but they got a little too syrupy. But I will say Robin Zander still has his voice. It is amazing how good he sounds. I will tell you a band that I didn't like when they were big, but we saw them in concert a couple of years ago and fell in love with them. The Psychedelic Furs. Oh my goodness. I was never a Psychedelic Furs fan in the 80s. Love My Way was tolerable, and most of their other songs I didn't like, but we saw them in concert with Squeeze 2 years ago. Joyce and I did, and oh my God, they rocked the place, and Richard's voice was just absolutely epic. He sounded better now than he did in the 80s, and no auto-tune and no fixed. Oh my God, and I have fallen in love with his song, Wrong Train. Oh my God. Now, they had been performing that song live. They never put it on an album until their 2020 comeback album, 2021. It's been around since the early 2010s. But oh my God, the version they put on the album and then performing it live. Oh my God, I love that song. If you don't, you guys go listen to it. Psychedelic Furs, Wrong Train. Get the album version, although there are a couple of live versions going back to 2013, 2014. But if you can, get the 2020 album version. Oh my God, that song blew me away. I fell in love with that. Yeah, that is so true, Kieran's. ZZ Top. I love ZZ Top. One of the few Southern rock bands I like. Otherwise, I'm not a fan of Southern rock. Never got into Leonard Skinner, 38 Special. Can't get into too much Southern rock. But ZZ Top, I love ZZ Top. The Chickasaw Mud Puppies. No, I have never heard of them that I know of. Oh, wow, Digger. That's awesome. You got to see the Buzzcocks live. Love the Buzzcocks. I remember when Pete left the band and went solo, and he released the song Homo Sapien, and we all know what he was really saying. I love that song, and I would be singing it, and guys would be like, that's a song about being gay. I don't care. It was a cool song. Well, it must mean you're gay. No, I'm not gay, but I like the song. I don't care if the guy's gay or not. Did you ever listen to the Buzzcocks? They're awesome. Who cares who they sleep with? It's whether they write good music or not. Engelbert Humperdinck straight, and I can't stand anything he sings. I know he's got a great voice, but just not into Engelbert Humperdinck, okay? You ever hear Gata Davida? You mean Inagata Davida, Iron Butterfly? I've got the other Iron Butterfly album with Inagata Davida, which of course was a slurred, stoned way of saying in the Garden of Eden. That's what the guy was singing, but he was stoned out of his mind when he started singing it to the band, and they decided to leave it that way. It was supposed to be in the Garden of Eden, baby. Don't you know that I love you? And instead it was like, in the Garden of Eden. What did he say? I think he said in the Garden of Eden. Ooh, that sounds cool. Do it. In the Garden of Eden. Joyce liked the Stone Temple Pilots. I liked a couple of songs. See, it's rarely that I like a band. It's very rarely, like the Beatles, the Who, I like them. Where they have songs I don't like, but overall, they just have so many songs. I love the band. But usually, I'll like songs and not the band. I'll say, well, overall, not interested, but they've got these songs I like. That's like with the Stones. I don't love the Stones. I like the Stones, but they've got a bunch of songs I love. My first album that I bought was Beatles' Hard Day's Night. The first album I ever got was the Blue and Red Greatest Hits albums. My parents gave those to me for birthday and Christmas when they came out. Because my birthday's a week before Christmas. So my parents, I wanted them. I wanted Beatle albums, and we finally had a record player I was allowed to use. And so my parents finally got me one double album for Christmas and one double album for my birthday. And then I used some of my money and I bought Hard Day's Night, and then I slowly bought the American versions of the albums. I did not hear the British version of the albums until I started listening to pirate radio in the 70s, and they were playing the Beatles albums. I'm like, that's not Help. Help has this song, and this song. That's not Rubber Soul. As somebody says, no, you have the American versions. And once I heard the British versions, the American albums were not the same. Until once you get to Sgt. Pepper, where then all the albums are the same except for Yellow Submarine. Where the American version, where in England, Yellow Submarine was an EP, and in the United States, it was the songs on the EP on one side, and then a bunch of orchestral stuff on the other. Nope, I was born in Toledo, and I have stayed in Toledo. Other than a couple of months I lived in West Point, New York, and 8 months I lived in Ada, Ohio, when I was at Ohio Northern University after I left West Point. And then I lived in Cleveland for a year. Joyce and I lived in Cleveland when we first got married because I got a job teaching in the prison system, and so I was assigned to a prison in Cleveland. Well, I kind of would like to buy. I would kind of like to buy the new version of the red and the blue album, because the blue album, they've now expanded to cover all the songs people complained weren't on the blue album, especially a lot of stuff from Abbey Road. But I don't need to buy them. I have got all the Beatle albums. I've got all the cassettes. I've got both American and British cassettes. I've got American vinyl, and then I've got everything on CD multiple times. I have not bought any of the newly remasters because I have not enjoyed what George Martin's son Giles has done. I haven't liked what he's done, but now I don't need the blue album because I can just rearrange and create a song list and call it the blue album. But now see, there's a guy. Hey, Sir Pete and Dame Sue. Hello, hello. Delft Junction. Wonderful to have you here. Your first album was Kilroy Was Here, right about the time Styx started going downhill. The bigger question is, what is my first non-Beatles record? What was the first record I bought that was not a Beatles record? It was Devo Live in L.A., 1980. Then I went back and got Are We Not Men and so on, their early stuff. Well, I hear familiar footsteps. Oh, that's Kyan building his layout. Kyan once wanted to build a layout yesterday, and he wanted to paint a house. Yeah, that's the one he painted. Like I was telling Lynn yesterday, I think it was before you came home. Like I was telling Lynn, he actually did a really good job. You look at how he separated the colors. It's like, that boy's better than me at 5. Up there, we'll get the church out of the way. I was showing everything off. Okay, so let's get a mic over here because I'm sure people are saying hello already. Set your drink down. Put that there. And then let's go to the...
Hey, Randall. Nice you're here. Hello, Tom. Hi, Andy with the wave. Hello, Chris and Bailey. Hello, Happy. Who's Edward Gray?
Deep breath.
Yeah. Hi, Will and Blue.
You are whispering.
Hi, Steve.
Will and Blue is KJ.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
no. That's all good.
And then Chris and Mary
Steve.
from Model.
Hi there, Ray. Yep, I'm here.
Now, see, there he goes again.
Hey there, Chris. Hi, Greg, and hello to Heather. Hi, Maura King.
Uh-oh, Kyan is waiting. Uh-oh, we got to interrupt everybody.
So, hi, March West. Karen. Hi, Chuck.
I told Kyan I missed him last week because he didn't come in.
Hey, Mick.
Joyce, we got to...
Okay.
All right.
Kyan!
Hey, Kyan, Opa loves you. Hey, Kyan.
We enjoyed your show. You were sweet. Oh, you were the comedian, though.
You were all over the place.
Yes, he sure was.
I was teasing him about that yesterday when I picked him up because he was still being kind of wild. I said, "You're kind of wild today." Yesterday, it's like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm not wild today."
Fingers and ears, okay.
Kyan, Opa's got your layout you were making. Opa's got your layout, and I showed everybody your houses that you were painting yesterday and telling everybody what a great job you did.
Sure did. So anyway, and hi to everybody if I didn't say hi to you. Yeah.
Hey, Sir Brian from Clintonville is here. I saw his new Shea locomotive, but there was like 6 videos. I was getting calls all day today.
Oh, okay.
I got call from Marty.
Okay.
Call from John.
Yeah.
And then call from UT.
Oh.
Call from FedEx.
Okay. Wow.
You owe us money. I said, check your records. I'm pretty sure I paid that bill.
Okay, what'd they tell you?
They didn't. They're still looking.
Hi, Simon.
God, who else called? Oh my God, it was just, I was trying to watch videos and kept having to turn everything off to answer my cell phone.
Yeah, right.
I had a call from Columbus. Is that Val or AJ's phone number? Nope. Click.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then I thought, wait, that might have been
Your
Eric.
second Shay got here. It's glorious. Nice.
Andy of March West Junction, who also put up a video, which I watched, showing off a bunch of cool 68s. Okay. I need to go to Andy's house so I can steal that TransPennine 68 he has.
Oh, good grief. Why would you do that?
Cheaper than buying.
I gotcha,
but then again, I'd have to pay to get over there, and then it'd be more expensive.
Yeah,
so I guess it's safe.
Yeah, but I think it's safe. Yeah,
it's safe. I can't.
It's safe.
You had a couple other really cool. Of all British locomotives, my favorite is the 68. Right. I'm sorry to all the 37 purists in that, or the 66 lovers in that. The 68 is my favorite.
Hi, Pete, and tell Sue hi. It was just we did a field trip, and good Lord, trying to find our bus was very crazy. And then our group traded buses, which was like, we never do that. So, what?
Speak up! I can't hear you.
Am I being too quiet?
You are being very breathless in your voice. So you have to
come I hear you. Yeah, I know. I had to run home.
Breathe from the diaphragm.
So I have a sub I had to take care of the sub and everything. I had to change my calendar and everything.
I figured you were going to get everything ready.
Yeah, so I had to get everything ready for her.
Monday.
And he visits and begins walking lopsided.
You're just.
Oh, he'll be fine. Don't worry.
It's that time of year again where you just
don't show it. So, well, yeah. Yeah, I know the things. I printed. I forgot I printed. I turned my computer off. I turned my computer on because I don't think I printed my lessons out. I tried to email them to her and they told me I couldn't do it. Okay. I don't know what that was.
It's a crazy.
Yeah, because I had her email and they said, no, you can't send this to her. Okay, I don't know why, but all right. Because there's a link I wanted her to have. So it's written on the
Kalmar says hello.
Hello, Kalmar.
He's encouraging me to buy the Danish ICE3 Neo.
Oh,
or
could.
ICB.
Yeah, you could. So, yeah, I'm just a very tired teacher now.
Just a very tired, tired teacher from Toledo.
I have 14,000 steps already.
A too tired teacher from Toledo.
Too tired teacher from Toledo, yeah. And I'm stressed, of course. So I got everything on there. I'm going to have to text a few people what to do and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Meeting with the principal. She didn't respond back to me then.
Oh, your principal wants another meeting?
Yep.
Oh, God. She's ready to throw the book at you. Yeah, the ICE3.
I'm going to copy everything.
But I forget if it's the ICE3 Neo or the, it's an ICE3 Neo or the ICE3D. I forget which one it is.
At this point, I don't care. You know what that was. So, yeah. The ICE3 Neo is the German. Yeah, he has the ICE3.
Yeah, no, but the Neo.
The Neo.
Specifically
you
the
have
Neo.
the Neo.
I thought the Danish one was the Neo.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, you have the Neo on right now.
No, that's the ICE4.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a Neo.
I thought you had a Neo.
The Neo has a stubbier nose than the regular ICE3.
Okay, I thought you had a Neo.
No, I haven't gotten the Neo. I've seen a couple of them, but I just haven't bought it. No.
I thought for sure you had one.
No, at the current time, I have...
All right, Karen, you take care of yourself.
I have 2 ICE4s, 3.5 ICE3s.
Yeah.
3.5 ICE3s.
Okay, that's your pretty new one.
I have...
No, you need to get more cars with it.
1 ICE2 plus a spare set of cab units, non-motorized. I have...
Yeah, I know. I got one more year. I still want to stay another year.
I have 2...
I debated today, but you have to give it
2.5 ICE1s, and then I have the ICE Experimental, the ICE Amtrak, and then I have the fake Amtrak ICE3. So I got a crap load of ICEs.
Yeah, you do. Oh, look at your blue one there.
What?
The blue one. That's oh, I can't think right now. It's your check. train.
No, that's not the check.
It's the Nightjet, isn't it?
That's the Nightjet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got there. Okay,
Yeah, you
it's
got
the
there.
Nightjet.
That's going to be a song parody.
Oh,
We're going to do,
okay.
oh crap, what's his name?
No one, okay.
Bob Seger. The song Night Moves.
Okay.
Riding on the Nightjet.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of working on the night moves, it could be working
Yeah,
on or
I'm
riding on the
going to because
Nightjet.
I'll have more money if I go another year. So that's what I want to do. And Kyan's going to be at our school, so I want to,
I hear
Yeah.
you, Randall.
yeah. Enrages you to no end sometime. I'm sure it does, Randall. I know it's been rough.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Andy,
Hmm.
that her reward for staying another year, I think, averages out to about $10 a month.
Well, it's more now.
No, it's about that.
Okay, well, it's going to be more. Oh, but yeah, I'm tired. We were
Maybe
trying to
20.
chase our bus and
Maybe
she went
20.
back around again. Ugh.
Oh,
I don't know what she was doing.
you have so
circling.
much fun, sarcasm, fun with your bus driver sometimes.
I know. I don't know what she was thinking.
All right, the diesel
I think
ICE,
she's not
right.
there, so we went back there. The kids saw her again. They started chasing us. Get your booty back.
But
here.
yeah, I wanted to go
Yeah,
back
follow
to
me.
Hot Dog Pilot Andy.
Yeah.
He commented a while, you know, he occasionally comments on musical stuff and he talks
Yeah.
about notes and
Yeah.
blah, blah. So I asked him after one of his comments last year or 2 years ago,
Gotcha.
I was like, all right,
Oh.
what band were you in? And what musical studies have you done? And I don't know if that came across as like I was no, I'm serious. He knows more than the average Joe
Get you, Mick.
should know about music,
Yeah.
about the technical side of music. So
Yeah.
I want to know, because you know this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
You know a lot of that, although I don't know
Yeah.
if you know drumming
Oh,
terminology,
well.
you know, like drumming, drumming on a fourth or blah, blah, blah.
Probably not.
or-
We weren't
yeah.
drummers.
But
Well, yeah. 27, we're going to Australia, but I think 28 we'll go to Getz again. It's a flight's cheaper at that time of year, so hopefully it'll be all right.
well, again, I don't know.
Hi, Great Northern.
Hey, Sir Greg from Great Northern, how are you?
It's a great too.
The thing is, I'm still not sold on going to Australia in October. You've talked yourself into it because you've heard it's springtime there
Yeah.
and different things will be in bloom and you want to see all that.
No, we're gonna go.
But I'm hesitating
It's
October
disgusting.
because more things are alive.
We'll be all right.
More things are alive.
We will be all right.
No,
We will be.
I'm likely to get attacked by all three major
All right.
poisonous spiders and all three
So
poisonous
why would
snakes
you want to go?
in June again.
You can talk to Artie then.
I've already mentioned it to Artie
And what do you say?
that I was but we're still going to do the same thing. We would
But I
still go
won't
up.
have all that money at that time.
Yes, you will.
Or
Or you can even go a little later. Like get out of the hot month of July.
Yeah, we don't want to go when it's so hot.
No, it won't be hot
Oh,
there.
you're right. It's summer.
But it'd be the deeper part of winter there.
Yeah. All right.
But you're trying to avoid the rainy season.
June is
What
okay.
you're forgetting, you're going to get two big lump sums of money.
Yeah, I know.
When you retire, you're going to get your first retirement check on June 1st, and a week and a half later,
It's just we
to
gotta
2
buy
weeks
the
later,
tickets
you're going to
before.
get your whole buyout.
Yeah, but we gotta get the tickets before that.
Yeah, but the tickets won't be that much more expensive than anything else.
Oh, I thought we'd go up an extra level with that.
Oh, you were talking. All
yeah,
right,
with
go
my
after that.
money. Yeah.
Maybe we'll go the other way. We'll fly to the UK and do Getz, and then from there go on to somewhere else in Australia. But you want to go to Hawaii. Sorry, guys, we're just arguing over.
You want to fly from Getz to Australia?
Not directly.
Isn't that further?
No, that's why I said go somewhere else. Like fly here for a while and then just do a world tour.
Okay.
My problem is,
I am probably not up to those discussions right now.
I know.
Spring is the best time here in Australia. He's afraid of all the bugs, Greg.
Not bugs.
And
Poisonous
spiders,
spiders.
and snakes and all those things that
Big poisonous spiders.
were not there in June.
Go use that public restroom, but make sure you lift up the lid first so the dummy spiders aren't there and kill you.
Oh, good
Oh,
God.
right.
By the way, Acme has some Nightjet in the 2026 catalog.
Yes, they've been releasing night jets.
But he has a Nightjet. He doesn't need another Nightjet.
No, but certain cars, race cars.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, Acme released a bunch of nice ones last year. They're just
You're saying
expensive.
you're
two
saying
for
in the
$350.
spring. All right, listen to him. He's saying in the spring there's still no bug, no spider, no snake in spring. That early.
In October, they're not out yet.
Is that what you're saying?
Meet me.
Obviously, that's. I want to be here in September for you know what. But we might leave. I don't know. Maybe we could leave early.
No, I don't know what.
Mid-September and go. Just catch the end of winter and early spring.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know what
Well,
I'm
you
saying?
said you didn't want to leave in September. You know why?
Right.
Oh,
Right. They're still half asleep.
yeah. See, I'm not putting that together yet.
Yeah.
Wasn't thinking that far ahead.
Yeah. Right. You were. So
What about Schnauztag?
I know we're
talking.
talking in
I need to
yeah,
get
I
to
know.
Sweden before I get a Swedish train.
Spiders are less scary than volcanoes.
They're still half asleep. Oh, that makes me feel better.
I don't think so.
Spiders
You know,
are less
Anthony-
scary than volcanoes.
Anthony doesn't like spiders in Toledo, and they're not. Most of them are not poisonous.
No, I don't like big spiders that surprise me.
There's no use standing on the seat. The crabs in here can jump 6 feet. Oh. By the way, be honest, you already see the bug anyway, just lots of hoppers. You like the hoppers. I
I'm
don't
not
want to
worried
get.
about bugs.
I
It's
don't
the
wanna get
poisonous
that
spiders that
close.
are everywhere.
Yeah, it's the poisonous stuff.
That's
he's
the nice
worried
thing about Toledo. We only have one poisonous spider, the brown recluse.
The recluse, yeah.
I don't like big spiders that, suddenly show up on my keyboard while I'm typing. If I see one over there, I'm not worried about it.
Snuggling between Stockholm.
But if I go under the
and
table and start working on something that comes down, I'm not happy. I don't like the
What did
surprise.
Blue Blue say? Do you know?
Well, the Schnauztag is a Swedish train that goes
Okay.
all the way from Sweden.
He did know,
and I think it
and
goes
I
all the way to
didn't.
Berlin or even further.
Sounds like he's saying it goes between Stockholm, Berlin, or Hamburg.
Yeah, okay. He just said Berlin and Hamburg, right?
So you hate spiders and snakes too. So you think we're safe in October? You will be visiting Hawaii in fear of getting cremated alive. In Hawaii?
Volcanoes.
Oh, the volcano, yeah. That's
Well-
a fairly reliable volcano, though.
Now, here's the thing. I don't want to go to Hawaii because tropical, heat,
All right.
humidity.
All right, we'll just skip Hawaii.
No.
It's all right.
But Joyce wants to go to Hawaii, and I'm willing to go there because it is beautiful. We spent a day there, and we definitely wanted to spend more time there.
Yeah, I'm not going to Arizona either, although I have a friend there, maybe right now.
I've been to Arizona. Couldn't live there.
Well, I'd like to say it's not as bad as you think, or people say. I understand that.
I understand it's not that bad, but they're there.
Yeah, it's the
And
possibility.
the warnings are there. I've been in places where they
Arnie was telling you there's a big problem with crocodiles and the rays in northern Australia. Oh, good Lord, snakes on a plane. Yeah, I tell you what, that's a movie I have not seen, and I don't plan on seeing it.
I'm not even so worried about poisonous snakes. It's the poisonous spiders,
Get by anything
because
that's poisonous.
the one specifically lives in the open
okay,
guns.
Greg, enjoy those little ones.
Because Artie had that little
They're
hole,
beautiful.
the little hole in his bathroom, and so every
Yeah.
morning I'd go into that. I would look, even though it wasn't season. I'm not taking a chance. The redback spider or whatever it is. All right, Greg, have fun with the grandkids.
Connor hasn't seen it yet. My wife told us no, not today. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think so.
The scary film is Sheep on a Bus.
Okay, I'll skip that one too. No, they don't sound quite as bad as snakes on a plane. I mean, you could hop off a bus.
The only time I worry about sheep is if they start bringing 4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
Yeah,
Then I worry.
No, that's a fan. That's the truth. Not a fan of wasps. Yeah, yellow jackets are really the ones you gotta watch.
Yeah, they're buying wasps. We've got different types of wasps, yellow jackets, the carpenter bees,
the
hornets.
Hornets. But most of those bees don't mess with you.
See, we said Artie's name 3 times and he showed up.
There he is. Hi, Artie. We were discussing a better time to come to Australia, but I think Greg's talking to still in October.
But we don't have the black widow in this area. It's north of us and it's south of us, but it doesn't live in this area. It's
probably too wet.
And we don't even have rattlesnakes in this area. The last rattlesnake sighting was in the 1930s.
Yeah, well, we killed them all. That's why we don't have any rattlesnakes.
Yeah, when I was a kid, they had the rattlesnake pit at Wallbridge Park.
They did, yeah. Yeah, I didn't go see that either. I love that park, but I didn't go there. Oh, poisonous frogs are worse because they're cute and you want to touch them.
Well, there's that. Yeah, if the frog is cute, don't touch it.
Sheep looking at you are scary? That's never hit me that way, but I really am a townie. So, I'm not around all these animals most of the time. Oh, no worries. Traffic was late. They get back from Dreamland. Okay, I get it. We're early for you. Yeah, you have cottonmouths where you are. Well, yeah, you don't want to look in and slip. I agree with that.
Ticks are a concern.
Yeah, we have ticks here too. We're kind of hoping we got cold enough this year that they won't be as bad.
No, I mean, there are bugs that are problematic, like the stink bugs.
No, they're annoying. I don't know that they're super problematic.
The Japanese beetles.
Yeah, we've got those invasive species. The kids are really good at killing them.
And then what was the bad one we had?
Bugs you have.
The lantern fly. That was the horrible one that's moved into the area. The lantern fly.
Yeah, and they're debatable how much damage they cause. They're not as bad as some of the other invasive ones. Yeah, especially if it's dry, indeed. So you have Asian hornets. Oh, those aren't
the only bugs we have. Support Man United. I hear you. The
Asian hornets kill the
Although, I don't know,
kill
Mick,
the honeybird bees, don't
Mick,
they?
you're old school. Do you hate I hate Man City now more than Man United.
Oh, so who is your nemesis?
Well, Liverpool's
it's
biggest.
Not the creature and the bugs, it's the people.
Mick is a fellow red.
Yeah. We live in America, Artie.
Alone.
We aren't really that afraid of the people either. Or at least we know who to avoid. Our people are tough. Yeah, he's showing you his flag. Maybe he's showing you the flag.
In all our travel, in all the countries we've been in, we could count on one hand people we did not like.
Yeah, you can.
A grumpy waitress in Scotland. A grumpy waitress in Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah, before we were going to Edinburgh because we ordered and 2 families. And then when we raised our hands up, apologized, we had to leave. She just and then went off to her bus.
That's terrible.
It's like we waited forever.
You passed us by.
And then I don't know if you'd remember early in our visits to Germany, we had the grumpy woman at the store where I was trying to buy a map and I was asking for Munster, and she gave me a map of Minster. And then when I said, no, I meant Munster, she's like, well, I can't have your stupid accent.
Whatever. Yeah.
Damn, bitch.
Yeah, but they are few and far between. They truly are.
Otherwise, we're lucky. We meet the good people.
That's the geese around here. I will sometimes cross the street if geese are on the sidewalk because they are rather ill-tempered. Cranky lady.
Well, I guess they were wondering if you were going to shear them or eat them.
Yeah, we had a cashier once who seemed pretty.
What?
We had a cashier once who was pretty pissy.
I
don't remember where we were.
Yeah, I forget where.
I say it was in Germany.
Yeah. But others, we just
For your lizard overlords? Oh. Okay.
for the lizard over.
You got little cameras on them or what?
Beep, 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 beep. Bah, bah, meh. Anytime you talk about sheep, I immediately go to Monty Python.
He sure does.
Sheep are very dim.
Oh, when they say the blue goose, you know they're safe.
Where'd they get an idea like that? From that one over there, Harold.
Oh.
So why don't you stop them? For the enormous possibility should they succeed.
Indeed, yes. Enormous. Keep vibrating.
Cows are dangerous, yes. Geese are dangerous.
What's that?
Yeah, geese can break your arm easily. But yeah, cows. The funny thing is we were in Yellowstone, right? It was Yellowstone
Yellowstone was
Park.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
about
it was
it?
Yellowstone we went to because the one I always confuse it
Oh,
with. And herds of buffalo, signs every 20 feet, different ways of telling you stay away from the buffalo. Do not approach the buffalo. They are aggressive and have very bad peripheral vision. So beautiful bison everywhere on the road and in this field. All the cars are stopped because they tell you stop your car and just wait for the bison to cross. Do not beep your horn at them. They take that as a threat. Some of the signs are like a bison is 350 pounds, 3,500 pounds. It can run up to 30 miles an hour. You can't. Please do not approach bison. Do not run near bison. The cars are stopped and you see all these damn tourists hopping out of their cars, running with their cameras into the field.
it's true, Raymond. Nobody wants a hippopotamus for Christmas.
No, hippopotamus are more people die from hippopotamus
Yeah.
attacks than shark attacks every
We
year.
kind of live where we are for a reason.
Yeah, we don't really have. Like I said, we got the brown recluse spider, and that's the
Yeah.
only poisonous thing in Toledo.
Probably our bees are the next.
Yeah,
thing
the
to
yellow
make you go,
jackets
well,
and the wasp and hornets
That's-
are the
you
meanest
know,
things
you don't
deal
run
with.
into them
And
very
even
often.
then, you don't run into them too much,
Yeah.
except when they try to
It's
move
just
into your
those-
house.
Yeah, that and the ground ones.
Yeah, well, also you
I
got
was
snakes down
wondering
there. You
Clancy
got copperheads, cottonmouths, and rattlesnakes down there. Maybe they don't have the cottonmouths down there, but I thought they did. Yep, Yellowstone anytime in the next 100,000 years could go boom, and there goes most of the United States.
Yeah.
Actually, there goes most of the planet.
Yeah, they are. We have a lovely viewing area at our zoo of the hippos. You can see them above water and underwater, and it's a brilliant exhibit. And yeah, they are.
The gorillas like to mess with you at the zoo.
Yeah, they will.
They know there's that big plexiglass wall, and a lot of times they'll just sit there, but every now and then they'll just jump up real fast.
Yeah. Yeah, people will do things, try to get them to imitate it. Yeah, I've heard that, and then people dispute it right away.
What's that?
Yellowstone. None of us want Yellowstone to explode. It is a ginormous cauldron, and it will do bad things to everybody, even across the ponds.
Well, yeah, the most dangerous mammal
explains
is the
you.
human race in a lot of ways, but
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
But I'm sorry, I like
yeah.
the human race. There are individual humans I don't like, but I like the human race. And I don't like the people that
Yes,
are
a
like,
spider
oh,
can
Earth
bite
would be
through
better
a
off. I
boot,
wish humans
and the
had never
poison is
been,
the worst ever.
had never evolved,
No, Sean, I'm with you. Because we know what we're doing it on purpose as opposed to by some natural reaction.
I am still trimming out the rough stuff. The Fowler car is working, but yeah, I'm not
Digger,
running
I
any
know
buses.
what you mean. I know what
I laid the road tape down, and now I'm eliminating all the seams. I have to take a razor, and my razors are all no good anymore, and I need really sharp razors so I can saw down the seams and the loose little bits, and but no, it's working. I just if I went over there, I can't let the car run free because it'll hit a seam and get stuck or bounce until I eliminate all these
bears
seams.
and some big old lion in your area.
Yeah.
I think it was that wild where you lived.
Well, in West Virginia, you had mountain lions and bears down there. There are bears in Southern Ohio.
That's West Virginia.
Oh, there are bears in Southern Ohio.
We've had sightings. I know that.
We're close to a bear in the Alps.
Yeah, I know. All turkeys, no. Those things are dangerous. A turkey will mess you up.
Yeah, especially if somebody drops them from a helicopter.
Yeah, indeed. It is 6:02, my love.
Yeah, well, I can't help it. You came in late.
I know
My brain just has a natural
I know. It should be an
timing
hour.
with you.
Yeah. A wallpaper steamroller to smooth the faller track. A wallpaper. You can try that. I think it's that.
The problem is
some areas I think
jagged
they're too
edges,
raised.
and I gotta eliminate
they got
those.
a bit smoothed down. Today in Denmark is tomorrow in the USA.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now.
It is now.
Yeah.
It is now tomorrow in Denmark. It is now the last day of February in Denmark.
Yeah. They do look cuddly, but you're right. You should not.
Or
The
like our
only
friends in
turkeys
Australia,
you
where
hate are
it's
the ones that
always
assume
tomorrow.
worker if I have to fill them into the
It's very rare that
fill
we're on
them
the
into
same
the
day.
freezer.
It's only a few hours each day.
We like turkey. You do turkey just the only time we really do it other than
Turkeys
sandwiches.
can be dangerous, but they're too stupid.
Yeah, they aren't very bright indeed.
They are not the brightest of animals. Nope.
Every few months, the cops report seeing a large black lion. Wow. That's different. Did it come off the zoo?
I saw Black Panther once, but that was a movie.
Yeah, because, being the temperate areas, we don't usually have those tropical animals.
Yeah, we do. Deer can be dangerous.
They can be. I mean, they shouldn't be, but they
can be dangerous, aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they're just dangerous anytime you're driving a vehicle. I see deer all the time when I ride my bike in the morning.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I keep an eye on them.
You don't want to hit your bike on one either.
No, you don't want to.
I was on my bike and I saw a groundhog jump up and I was scared. I thought if I hit that damn thing, I was going over my handlebars.
Yep, the groundhog.
Yeah, because that's
can get you too.
A thick thing.
I've had groundhogs run across my path in the morning.
I was trying to brake and he turned.
Feral cats, occasional dog. Yeah, my bike path has all kinds of wildlife obstacle courses.
Yeah, no, the one that really got me.
There was one time last fall where I was riding before I stopped riding for the winter, and a stag was standing in the middle of it and just looking at me, and he kind of had the look, "You coming through, mother?" I'm here now. What you gonna do? And I just kept getting closer, and then he went. I was like, "Move already!" And then he hopped off.
Bailed.
Then he bailed.
Oh, isn't that right? Race Central. It would be a much happier place.
Yes. If we could all be kinder.
Yeah.
Stop finding reasons to divide and start finding reasons to unite. Right. But there it is. It is another Friday ending on one of those peace positive messages.
Yep. Peace positive's good.
As Ringo always says, peace and love, and love.
Yeah, I had deer getting into my bird feeder.
But I'll take you over Barbara Bach any day.
Thank you. I guess that's reassuring. Ay. All right.
Okay. So anyhow, we're just sitting there
staring.
Crazy week. My daughter's surgery on Monday, so that's gonna be a big thing.
We're anxious about it.
We're all anxious about it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's been a crazy week since the emergency room last Sunday, but otherwise another successful running. No gremlins, other than those guys both started off a little rough, but we got them sorted.
Good.
Adjusted.
You were keeping me company in my room.
Oh, good. I was just wondering how many of my comments you were crushing your fist like,
talk about
Anthony, shut up.
I heard my name a lot.
I did talk about you a lot. I was talking about your job and other things about you, your secret habits.
My secret habits?
Your vices.
Oh.
All right.
We'll
So
find
anyhow,
out.
we're babbling even more. So
We talked about
so those who are still left in the room,
right.
you know,
Dodging
everybody
the
gets out
check.
before. Yeah, checks are coming. Get out quick.
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for joining us.
We
It's
appreciate
so
you.
awesome. You guys
Yeah.
really do that every
Mhm.
Friday. Those of you that come back,
Right.
and for those that stop by and won't come back again,
We'll miss you.
we won't miss you.
Okay.
You didn't give us a
Well,
chance to get to know you.
That's
didn't miss you.
true. If we didn't get to know you, we won't miss
So
you.
anyhow, on that note,
Right.
we're gonna say Auf Wiedersehen
Cheers.
and happy trades. Take care,
Bye.
everybody.
Oh, everything goes well.
And stream.
Indeed. Indeed.